day before I went live.
Okay, I hear you. And welcome everyone to Monday Night Mark C Comics on Clobberin Times. Good to see you. Good to see you all tonight. Even if it's a somber event, we're gonna. I don't know about fun, but we'll try to have an interesting night for sure. And before we get started, I want to thank my wonderful friend Purple Valkyrie for hanging out. She's not purple tonight; she's green. Oh my God! Purple's here with us tonight. Thank you for being here, my friend. I just love you, and I always love it when you hang out with me.
Good evening. Yes, thank you for having me back, and hello to the chat. Good evening, guys.
Yes, indeed, guys. Look, don't ever let it be said that Clobberin Times brings someone worth hanging out with. Because if it's just me, nah. But Purple's here with us, folks. And it's good to see. How you been? Been all right? Did I lose you?
No, I've been good, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
just
popped out for a second.
it pops. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I've been fine, thank you. Yeah, missed getting to hang out with you guys, but really great to be back. So thank you.
Great to have you back. Great to have you back. And let's say some well, quick show note, and then we'll start saying some hellos to our friends and we'll get started. Let's see here. As you all know, it's a big old Marvel movie week. Um, the usual Clobby's Clubhouse that is on Thursday nights. So it's moved to Wednesday nights this week. My wonderful first officer, Raquel, and our great chief engineer, Mark D with the C, will join us. We'll just do that on Wednesday night. Because on Thursday night, I am proud to have been asked to be on Comics Division's channel, the Great Comics Division, to do a review with those gentlemen over there of the new film, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And then Friday night, I will have a special, because every time there's one of these, comic book movies comes out, some friends say, hey, let's review it. Whose channel you want to do it on? Well, hopefully the great J-Man, the great Mark D with the C, and the great Sean will join me to review Friday night, 6 p.m. Central Time, I believe. So we did a special time, so it's weird. We will bring you a Clobby review of a Clobberin Times review of the film. So that'll be 2 nights in a row. I'll be reviewing it. Hopefully, after that, I won't have to review it anymore.
I was going to say, are you looking forward to it, or is it this one that was a bit eh?
Look, I think it's good when you don't look forward to something too much because it might surprise you. I really like the first Doctor Strange film, even though I don't like a lot of what's going on in the MCU right now. I did like I said, I liked the first film. I've liked him as Doc Strange. I had some issues with him the way he was written in No Way Home, even though I liked the movie. So I'll go in cautious. I think that's what you have to do with these now, and let's hope it's good. I mean, that's all you can do, right?
Yes, I was surprised by the first one, and I did like the first trailer that they put out for this one, so fingers crossed it's fun.
Yeah, I hope we can have a good time with it, and it looks visual for sure. So that's one thing. That's something at least. It'll keep your eyes busy and blurry probably. So we'll see. The great Steve Mitchum, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. Chris Persia, the master of the Canadian wrench. Good to see you there, bro. J-Man, who will be reviewing it with me Friday night. I think he had to run already, but J-Man, good to see you there, bro. The great channel. Any of you, I have a link in my description below. Please go to J-Man's channel. Those guys have a good time over there. He is a really good friend of the show, and I love those fellers over there. And hey, Noel, look at that Noel with the TARDIS zones popped in there. Noel,
Hey,
what's up, buddy?
Good morning.
Long time no see, Kimasabi. Noel, I hope you were doing well. I don't get a chance to be in the chat much, but I've been watching a lot of your, lurking a lot of your streams when I'm out riding around and stuff lately and stuff, and you're knocking it out there and covering Doctor Who as no one else does or no one else compares to. So any Doctor Who fans out there, that's Noel in the TARDIS zone. Good to see you there, dude. Could not be reached for further comment. I think you can be reached because I see a comment and you're right there.
That's a great name.
It is. I like it. Good to see you. Could not be reached. Can I call you Could Not for short? I don't know. That would be kind of weird, wouldn't it? Let's see here. Who else is here with us? Hey, Lord Thoth, brother. Avon lives and long live the Legion. Good to see you there, buddy. You're the man. D. Bud Martin, buddy. Hope you're feeling better. Hope you're doing well. Getting some rest there. Recovering. Man of iron that you are, sir. Hope that armor's charging up. Let's see here. Cal L, buddy, the true man of superness. What's up? Good to see you, my friend. Always a pleasure, buddy. Great friend of the channel. There you look, hungry-ish, but not hungry-esque. AKA the great Hungry Boy. What's up, Hungry Boy? Good to see you there, buddy. I'm so happy that you're here tonight, man. Really.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, he's something. Hungry Boy has been such a, well, everyone is. Everybody here has been just such great, fabulous friends of the show. And Hungry Boy knows his stuff when it comes to comic book art, so I'm very interested in his takes. Tonight, pop culture curator. Hello there. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Let us see whom else we have. I like that. At least this chat goes all the way back now, so it's pretty good.
Yes, I'm so relieved because if you miss somebody, at least you can go back and find them. Yes. Absolutely.
About damn time. I like that. Make sure. Mark, the infinitely tired. What's up, dude? Long time no see, Kimasabi. Good to see you there. That's the second time I've called somebody Kimusabi tonight, and it's the last time. I'll get sued by the Lone Ranger. How dare you? Repetitive of me. Let's see here. And by the way, Noel, shout out to Probby. My boy, Problem Being. I love Probby. I haven't seen him in a long time. I know he's not back on the Twitch yet, but if you see him, give him some love from Clobby, if you would, brother. I miss him.
Yes, I miss Probby and Clobby together.
Yes. I mean, it's such a perfect act, isn't it? And it's his fault I'm Clobby, by the way. Well, it's really my fault. I'm blaming him. Mark D with a G. Just kidding, a C. A chi, a C. He probably has a chi, like a cheese sandwich now. Knowing him. I think we got just about everybody. There. I think I'm up to speed on the chat now. Anyone else who pops in, of course, we will acknowledge you. Yes, so how do I put this, man? Neal Adams, folks. Yes, Kal-El, yes, I'm the lone clobberer. I'm stealing that from you. Neal Adams, Purple. If you were to, let me see here. How do I put this? If you were to take all of comics history, all contribution, and envision it as a tapestry, if you will, as one big tapestry of the work of thousands and thousands of individuals doing the art, the lettering, the coloring, and of course the writing, all of it. Just one big tapestry of contributions by all these artists. And of course, it would be a very big one, obviously. And so imagine it as this big, gigantic tapestry. And then if you were to subtract Neal Adams from the equation, it's going to be a much smaller tapestry. It's going to be minute. There are only a few people that if you subtract them from that tapestry, that would make a gigantic hole in it. Kirby, it would make it almost non-existent if you take Kirby out of it. A few others, just for sheer body of work, if nothing else. And Neal Adams, you'd be taking just a beautiful, wonderful chunk out of it if you did that.
You would. You'd also be draining most of the colors as well. It would be a much, much duller tapestry if you took Neal Adams's work out. But we were talking in the green room, and we were saying what an incredible legacy he leaves behind.
Wakazashi's Tea House. How do you say that? Did I say that right, by the way?
Yes, Wakazashi.
Hey there. I'm not going to try to say it again because I don't. Okay, thank you, because I couldn't say it. I couldn't exactly say it again. I don't want to mess it up. But yes, we're talking about that back there, about how it's tough to measure. His career is different from Kirby's, different from Ditko's, different from many other. I don't know if Hungry Boy agrees with this and any of this or not, but I want his thoughts on it. Neal is known, well, like a lot of comic artists, you got the things you know them by. But they're a lot more than the things you know them by, but they're still the thing. For example, it's impossible to separate Kirby from the Fantastic Four or Captain America, even though he did a lot of other stuff.
Yes.
But Kirby's different. He is an animal. He's unique. There's nobody like him. There are a couple that come close, but there's nobody like him because he almost revolutionized the art form about 3 times over the course of 60-something year career, whatever it was. So 40, 50 year career, whatever it was. So Neal Adams came in later, and there's about 2 or 3 characters that you associate him with, and then you associate him with this broad spectrum of work that's, and for me, is best spans the 70s. Interestingly enough, Hungry Boy mentions Ben Casey. He got when in his early career, he actually worked on the comic strip for the old TV show Ben Casey. I just happen to have one right here. Now this is one of the color supplements. Remember that obviously I don't know how it was over there in your youth, Purple, but we had newspaper strips on the weeklies. We had a pretty big newspaper strip selection for years and years in our newspapers, and then we would have the color supplements on the weekends and stuff.
I think it was pretty much the same, if I remember correctly. So you'd get the shorter black and white ones throughout the week, and then the color ones tended to be a little bit longer. And if I remember correctly,
yes, he did obviously he did the regular. And again, this was a popular show from the 50s. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It was a popular doctor show in the 50s. But,
a little bit before my time, this one.
Even before mine, believe it or not. But I knew of it, I guess, because it was in reruns. But I really didn't watch it much. It was, it was a nighttime soap opera, sort of, I thought. But anyway, it's just funny because, again, this is the 50s. This is the weekend supplement here. It had a daily black and white run as well. I'm going, it just goes to show you back then how important comics and books and comic strips were for, a popular TV show, an adult TV show, had a comic strip. I mean, it was an adult TV show, and yet it had a regular weekly comic strip.
Could we just talk about how incredible this layout is of this particular?
It's unreal.
With the face. Looking at it, and the composition is incredible.
Yes, it really is. He was a master of composition. And again, I don't pretend to know anything about art, but I got friends around here that do. So they cover me on that stuff. I do know some certain things about composition and storytelling and cartooning and things like that. But again, like you said, that's one reason why I chose this panel. There are a lot of pages out there. but I chose this one not just because it was in color, it was bigger. But yes, this is not action, and yet it moves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an action TV show, but that pops off of. I mean, that's something they weren't really doing in comic strips that much. Although he is influenced here. There's some excellent. I can see, I see, Hal Foster influence in some of this kind of stuff. Vern Hogarth, Alex Raymond, people like that, and he would cite some of those influences as well. So yes, early on he did work like that, but I'll tell you, we'll take a look at. I'm not going to say it put him on the map, but one of his most important things ever was, of course, his work on a certain Dark Knight detective.
Yes, and that's what I know him best from, I've got to admit. For me, I always associate Adams with Batman. They go hand in hand.
Yes. I absolutely love the Adam West Batman TV show. Unabashedly, I always will. It's the reason we're all sitting here. It's the reason we're all sitting here, because it's jump-started my geekdom.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got this book in the early 70s called Batman from the 30s to the 70s. Hello there, Dave Bob. Good to see you.
Hey, Dave Bob.
And this book, Purple, had obviously it had, well, just what it said. It had Batman's from comics reprinted in it, from the 30s all the way up to the 70s. So it chronicled all the different eras. The early Bill Finger, Bob Kane, Jerry Robinson Batman.
That book's enormous.
It is. It's back then, for a 7-8-year-old kid. I mean, it was fantastic. That was my second exposure to Batman, aside from the TV show and the Filmation cartoon. So third, really, I should say. So that was my first comic book exposure to Batman. Right, I was pretty young, and so I'm reading this thing. I wore that sucker out. I don't have that one anymore. I think I had to get a later. I might have that one. I guess it's in bad shape if I have it. I have a couple. They did that one, a Superman one, and a Captain Marvel one.
They're well loved.
They are very abused. I mean, well loved. They are messed up. So I love that. I mean, that was how I got into comics, really, in a sense, because I'd already seen all these cartoon characters, these comic characters that I didn't know about comics. I just knew they were superheroes and stuff. So I'm reading about Batman. I love the Batman TV show, but then when I started seeing some of the darker, brooding Dark Knight detective Batman, I was like, I thought it was just, again, he's very different. Well,
yes, you kind of expected to see the campy side of him.
Right, which is in there, by the way, because it has the 50s Chronicle, but yes, it has the other stuff too, right? So right around after the Batman Adam West craze started to die down, Julius Schwartz got a hold of the editorial range, I should say, of Batman, and he decided to kind of bring him back to his Dark Knight detective roots, back to the basics for Batman, and he did that in epic fashion, along with Denny O'Neil and Neal Adams. They took Batman. One of the earliest things they did, although this wasn't the first thing they did, but one thing they did was bring the Joker, made him scary again. In this particular classic,
251.
Yes. Called the Joker's 5-Way Revenge, and I think we probably mentioned this. We probably talked about this before. Purple. This comic is amalgamated with Englehart and Rogers' Batman Joker story, the Laughing Fish, and it was on Batman the Animated Series.
It was one of my favorites from them. I love that they incorporated that. Yes, and look at this. I love, and we've talked about this before. I think we've talked about this with some of the other villains, the way that they kind of blow the villains up and make them larger than life, and that looks incredible.
This is from that comic here. This is, of course, remember they actually adapted the Laughing Fish from Englehart, but the tail end of it had the shark stuff, which was not in that. So they kind of put two stories together. But this is Batman again, the Joker scary again.
Yes, and that's what he did with Dennis O'Neil, isn't it? They took a new spin, so they took it away from the kind of lighter-hearted Adam West, and they wanted a grittier character.
Yes, we'll see. Tardison says, "You ever see the 30 serials, the Batman 30 serials?" Yes, there was one with Lewis Wilson played Batman. The other one, Douglas Croft or something. There were two actually Batman serials. Tardisone, Noel. Yes, I've seen him. Yeah, absolutely. I know Lewis Wilson played him first. God, I can't remember the second guy's name. Was it Douglas? I can't remember. But anyway, but yes, I have seen those. Yes, sir. And those were, the Batmobile was just like a regular car. Have you seen those serials? They're crazy. But yeah.
I haven't.
Oh man. But anyway, as you can see, Batman. Oh, these covers. You want to see one of my favorite Neal Adams Batman covers of all?
Mm-hmm. Yes, please. Yes.
God, this is just outstanding. It is just superb. Hello there, Oliver Belamonte. Good to see you, my friend. Neal Adams made me want to read Batman comics again. I just wanted to easily forget the Adam West Batman and the Filmation Adventures of Batman. I can never forget him. I love him. I love them. But I love this Batman. Yeah, Douglas Croft. I got it right. Wow. I'm weird.
I love the gothic look of this cover. It is incredible.
Oh, it really is. Of course, he created Man Bat.
Mm-hmm. And Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, I always love this cover, even though it's just like a bunch of old covers behind it with the Adams figures on it.
It does pop, doesn't it?
Yes. And that's an expensive comic book right there. Jesus. Now we're talking the demon, as in Ra's al Ghul. And this, well, let's just look at the big tamale right here. This wraparound cover for this limited collected tabloid is one of the most beautiful pieces of Adams art I've ever seen. Fight me. I just adore it. And of course I have it. Well, the trade. I mean,
that was going to be my next question. Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, I have a buddy of mine has a far superior tabloid and treasury collection to mine, but I have a very good one. And yes, I have this. This, of course, reprints that story. That story that first took place around this era in Batman. When yep. Well, I don't need to show this much of this. Everyone knows this story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's funny. Yes, he was. Well, the next thing he was big for early on was this. Green Lantern, Green Arrow, The Hard Traveling Heroes. By Denny O'Neil and Neal Adams. And it was, how do I put it? It was, for the time it was groundbreaking. I mean, for goodness sake, they talked about drugs. DC attacks youth's greatest problems. Drugs. And
back when they actually, try to help people in comics. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Imagine that, right? But Marvel was doing it around the same time with in Spider-Man, and they lost the comics code on this one. This one they got the comics code, but this here, the stories in these, I mean, they're really, when you go back and read them, they're really over the look. And I love, in the best way, I'm being nice because I love Denny O'Neil. I really do love Denny O'Neil. He's a classic good guy hippie, but he is a hippie, and these comics are written with every hippie cliche in the book. These Hard Traveling Heroes comics. I'm going to be reviewing them soon. Mexican Iron Man claims he's going to review it with me. We'll see. I'm going to get him into it though. So anyway, but still, what I love most about him, I got to admit, is kind of the art. I mean, yes, of course, the stories are maybe a little bit, they're definitely of their time.
Mm-hmm.
But these two characters never looked better. And I love Gil Kane's Green Lantern, but I love Adams as well. And this is the comic that made me love Ollie Queen. That's a guy that I probably agree with on nothing politically, but I love that big hippie. I do. I've always loved Green Arrow. I don't know what it is. Even on he's great on the Justice League cartoon. And I love him in this costume, which is pretty much Adams. And of course, Dick Giordano. Yes. Thank God Dick Giordano inks so much Adams. Yes, he needed inking sometimes. So it's funny. When you say a Kirby, for example,
Mm-hmm.
You have to list things like, wow, well, what do you start? The run on FF, the run on Thor, there was Captain America run, some of his New Gods stuff. Or when you mention a Perez, you go, wow, where do you start? His Avengers run, his Justice League run, his New Teen Titans, or Miller when you go to Daredevil. When you go with Adams, you go Batman, you go Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Then after that, he doesn't have any. There are a couple runs he had, but not many. And we'll show a couple of them. I don't know if you're familiar. We'll go back to DC in a minute, but first, oh wait, we have some more Batman covers. So how about some more Batman covers first? I love this one.
Rip Robin.
Robin is always getting brutalized in his covers.
Yes.
Poor old Robin, right?
Poor Robin.
Oh dear, oh dear. And there's one other Batman cover that I forgot to show because it was in the wrong spot. Batman with a Santa Claus beard. Neal could be silly. He can still do the silly. He was down with the silly, right?
I like silly.
Yeah, well, who doesn't like silly? Nothing wrong with a little silly. And so
Batman could have tried a little bit harder with the costume, but still.
Oh yeah, true. Top cover. Which one's a top cover for you there, Hungry Boy? Which one, man? Which one do you mean? So yeah, in other words, you think of a writer or an artist, you think of a run. And so with Neal, it's no exception, but they're not, in other words, Kirby did over 100 issues of FF. And they did 80-something issues of Thor, whatever it was, crazy like that. So he had like multiple titles where he did close to 100 issue stints on them. And other artists have done that. Neal, these were very relatively short runs. And you think about, and what's funny about, we'll do his Marvel ones, then we'll get back to DC.
Mm-hmm.
He had a short but sweet run on X-Men. I don't know if you're familiar with it. This is before some of that stuff. This was in the late 60s.
I'm not as familiar with his X-Men run. I know a couple of the covers. I think if you've got the one with Cyclops, I definitely remember that one.
I'd have to find that one. But he did, and again, some outstanding, I'll tell you one of the most amazing pages right here.
Wow.
That is a busy, talky, busy action page on X-Men. But it's phenomenal. Oh, the Robin to Dust one. Gotcha, Hungry Boy. Fresh News 247. Hello, good to meet you there. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in. But this was a really good run with Tom Palmer doing the inking on this one, Hungry Boy, as you well know. But he also, for Marvel, where'd I put it? Where I gotta find him. For Marvel, he had a short run of one, again, a classic, and it's the Avengers Cree Skrull War, which he did most of. Not all of it, but he did most of it at Marvel. So I'm not sure he was that fast, but this is one what I'm about to show you is one of the greatest splash pages I've ever seen in all of comics. I mean, it would make my top 10 splash pages. It's right here.
Wow.
Something about this one. With Triton coming up out of something inhuman, this way it comes. This is part of the Kree Skrull War. And I just always loved this splash. Neal could do he could do a splash, let me tell you. I know you guys are familiar with these. Yeah, the detail is just I agree, Noel. His detail is just phenomenal. Hey, another Batman cover I forgot. Love this one. Death cast the deciding vote. And one other great Batman cover that I had him in the wrong place. I'm sorry, everybody. So we'll do a couple more Batman here. Classic.
Yes. I
Sure you've
remember
seen that
this one. Absolutely.
So
look at that, back when the comics were 25 cents.
Yes. When I was first able to actually go and buy them off the racks, that's what they were, 20 and 25. I think DC went to 25 first because they put more pages in. So, yes. Here's the thing about that. Probably you got those two, bits of Marvel run. And you got these, of course, two classic runs on Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and Batman. so you just come to think of him. He's synonymous with DC superheroes. But this is when he was just doing a lot of cover work. At this point, he was doing so much cover work.
Oh, you shown this one before. I remember this.
Yeah.
And this is one of your favorites, isn't it? If I
love
correctly.
it. All reprints. I have it, of course. And it's all, and you know, it's funny, he did a lot of Adventure Comics covers. I'll pull some of those up later. But yeah, him doing Legion right there, it gets me happy.
Did he do a lot of the wraparound covers? Was this kind of a...
Yeah, here's another one.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Because he did the Superman versus Muhammad Ali as well, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I'm glad you said that, because we may as well go take a look at that right now. First of all, let's say Merry Christmas to Superman now.
Okay. I love
this
that.
right here.
That is so good.
That is a beautiful, every Christmas I pull this sucker out. I believe that was for one of the Superman albums. Well, anyway, we're going to get to we'll get to Superman, then do Superman Muhammad Ali. He never really did very many interiors, but he did some of the classic covers of Superman. Now, here's the thing. When our dear departed great friend Mark C. and I did our favorite all-time covers show, where we picked our top 25 favorite covers, this made my list right here. And we talked about this. Neal didn't like this cover. Neal was, again, I've always loved it. And then Mark had to tell me why. And I said, don't tell me why, because I can't remember. Maybe if I read it. I said, why did you like it? I can't remember now. He says, don't you? And we were talking about it. He jogged my memory, and he told me, and I'm like, oh man, now I see it. It's Captain James T. Skywalker. So I may as well ruin it for everybody else. How about that?
Yes, I'm curious now.
Neal didn't like this cover because the cape is too short.
Oh, okay.
Now you can't unsee it.
You're thinking it should be closer to where his calves are?
Way longer. I think he redid it for some drawings. Kel says, it's funny, I never read the comics you're showing individually, but I recognize them nonetheless because most of them are featured in the greatest Batman stories ever told. And there's the thing. There are plenty of comics, you may not have read them, but you sure as hell, if you walked around a comic shop or just looked at the internet. Yeah, there you go, Mark D. I ruined it for you. But it should be at least right. But you just know them. You see them all over the place. And so this is his journey of doing lots of covers.
I love the action in that. Wow.
Oh, yeah, I love this one, right? This is one of my favorite World's Finest covers. And this is tip of the iceberg of covers he's done. But since we're talking Superman, oh, by the way, there's another one of those Avengers covers. But again, and we're talking about DC heroes in general. You want to see probably my favorite Superman cover he ever did, though? I had this made on a shirt. This one right here.
Oh, you've told me about this before. Yes, I remember.
Yes, I love this one. That is
what is it about this particular one that really kind of caught your attention? Is it the composition? Is it the the way that he's drawn? Is it the movement?
For me, it's the fact that they let him go crazy and get bold and put that photo background there. Very Kirby-ish. Kirby used to use photos and stuff.
Yes.
Humanity type thing. The fact that they had this, and it's just a dynamic shot of Superman flying up to this, flying up like that. It's dynamic, it's heroic, and it's got that charm of having it on a photo cover. It made my list again. This is in my top all-time covers of ever. I think it's one of the greatest comic covers ever made, just in my opinion. I just love it, and I love it so much. I would like to get it on a shirt that would fit me, because that's a long time ago. I had it on a shirt that doesn't anymore. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, though. Okay, now I need it before I go to. Oh, you want to see another cool cover from Superman?
Yes, we're gonna have to get you another one of those before Clobberin.
Yes. Oh yeah. Look at the other photo cover here.
Okay,
that's a crazy cover right there.
That is cool.
Okay, Hungry Boy, I need to know something. I need your opinion on something. As you know, of course, I love the first Superman Spider-Man team up, and Ross Andrews largely credited with the art, but we all know that Neal Adams did uncredited work So we don't know which. I believe he did this page or worked on it. I know Ross Andrew probably did the pencils, but I think Adams inked this page. What do you, Hungry Boy? Give me a judgment. What do you think? You could level with me because Neal worked on that comic. He didn't get credited for pencils, and you can see Spidey's definitely penciled by Ross Andrew. But look at Superman though. Superman figure looks right out of Adams, or certainly inked by him. I want to see what Hungry Boy thinks about that because he's the expert. But I've always thought that Neal did certain. I love this comic by this. Look at this. They were fighting, and because Spidey was doused with red sun radiation, so he was beating the crap out of Superman. Luthor did it to him. He made him think that he made Superman think that Spider-Man had taken Lois Lane. In other words, this is they're just meeting for the first time, and so finally when it wears off, Superman gets pissed off at him, and he goes to him and goes, "Oh my God, what am I doing?" And I have to pull my punch, hope it's in time. So this is him pulling his punch right at his face. And the next few pages are the wind blast knocking Spider-Man like 5 miles. I love it. So what do you think? Yeah, yes, I think he did under the table like when he do single panels for other artists. Yep. I've always thought this, you can definitely see the pencils are Andrew, especially on Spidey. Let's see. Does anyone wish Adams did more interiors and longer runs on comics? I sure as hell do. I wish he'd done interiors on a Superman comic. One Superman comic he did do the interiors on? Bum, bum, bum. Where are you? No, I put it in the wrong place. Okay, we go.
There we go. Yes.
Naturally, I have this. Right? This, oh my God. Look, I was, oh God, man, I don't know, 13, 14, whatever. And kids back then loved, boxing was actually an actual sport that you watched on regular TV.
I used to like boxing. I used to like, especially heavyweight.
And it didn't hurt that there were Rocky movies out there. So we loved Rocky movies and we loved Muhammad Ali. And when I saw this, my brain blew up worse than it did when I saw there was going to be a Spider-Man Superman team up years earlier. I couldn't take it. I'm like, no, this is not possible. Superman versus Muhammad Ali. Thanks, both Steve and the two resident artists, Steve and Hungry Boy. I appreciate the input there. I figured you guys would have an opinion on that. So, look at this though. He's like, they can't fight. No. I have to read that. Oh my God, no. And we used to joke later that we thought Denny O'Neil and Neal Adams came up with this story like at a bar in like 2 hours. It's just silly. So we love, but as you can see, what this comic here on this wraparound cover, these are all celebrities of the time. Look at Jimmy Carter.
Yes, I was going through it, and I've seen this so many times before, and you're trying to pick out faces in the crowd, but the detail in this is incredible.
Well, he used to, I'm gonna go find a picture of it later. Neal Adams also did the Jimmy Carter coloring book at the time. Back when Jimmy was running,
coloring book.
He did it when Jimmy was running for office again. When he got trounced by Reagan, he did.
Did not know that was a thing.
We're gonna find a picture of that now that I'm thinking about it. Catman, D.D. Myers, what's up, buddy? So on the inside of this thing, purple, there's a blank white diagram with the numbers all over instead of the faces that tells you who everyone is. And giveaway, there's Batman and there's Sonny Bono right before him.
Yes, I see that.
Sonny and Cher's in here somewhere. I think Welcome Back Cotter's on there. So yeah, the Cotter, Welcome Back Cotter kids are on there. I think Groucho Marx is right there. Oh, you can't see my mouse. Groucho Marx is in there. You can see. It's funny they got a guy back behind a guy. They got a guy back there that looks like Clark Kent, but he can't be watching this fight. Yep, Jerry Garcia. That's right, Steve. Johnny Carson. And this was it was mind blowing. And the blue corner, wearing white trunks from Louisville, Kentucky, a true genius of the ring and champion of the people, Muhammad Ali. And in the red corner, wearing cape and blue tights. Should have said red cape, blue tights. The blue tights. From the planet Krypton, Kal-El's fighting as Superman, also champion of the people. This is Howard Cosell, and I'm running because Muhammad Ali wants to kick my ass yet again. Holy crap. I can't do my Howard anymore. My throat's... Anyway, so, well, I think I had another picture. Oh, yeah. Where did I put my other picture from this thing? Oh, yeah, there we go. Now, I won't tell everyone what happens at the end, but spoiler alert, there's the ending right there. Well, later. Superman, we are the greatest. Are the greatest of all time. But Superman's great, too.
So
I love it.
This is a story that could have been incredibly cheesy, but it works very well, doesn't it? Was this one that once you got it, you were really happy with it?
And I didn't do it. I didn't pull down a lot of art from it. In my opinion, and it's the only Superman real big story he did with Superman. This as far as interior. This is some of my favorite. If my favorite actual interior work ever done by Adams is probably this. If I had to pick, we can let's see, we can look at some art from it to show you some of the pages. Because for me, yeah, I would say this is probably my favorite of his interior art, or some of it, or at least up there. And of course, it helps that it's the Treasury Edition size. You know, the pages. And I should have collected up a bunch of pages. I didn't have any time today to do any of that stuff. But we've got some pages. Oh, here's one of my favorite. Now, I hope this isn't from the re-inked one. This looks like it's from this re-inked trade paperback. I mean, a hardcover. They did a re-inked hardcover.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like when Neal gets his stuff re-inked, personally. But see here. Okay. Here's some. This is some of my, like I said, favorite of his interior work.
Oh, look at that.
It's incredible. I don't have it blown up really big, but
yeah. Again, it's the movement, it's the composition.
Yes. And again, this big busy street scene right here. That's amazing.
I bet if you blew that up and you could really see the detail in this, and really kind of go into the background of all the things that are hidden in there.
Oh, I think Neal knocked himself out on this one. I mean, really, really outdid himself here. There's some of the fight scene. Want to see something sad? Oh
no!
Poor old Superman. Well, they're hanging kryptonite over the ring. Superman, otherwise there ain't much of a fight. Now, my favorite pages from this are nothing to do with the fight. There's an opening sequence before all this happens where Superman. And some of that's from that re-inked issue where Superman goes and stops a typhoon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's incredible. By the way, here's the way that page originally looked before they re-inked it all, recolored it.
I vastly prefer that. It looks more.
I
organic.
like this way better. I hate this garish recolor shit. I bought a couple of Green Lantern, Green Arrow big albums that they put reprints in, and they recolored it. And maybe when I was so aggravated, the color. I hate when you recolor Adams. Damn it! Don't do that. See, that's so much better. I think anyway.
It is, yeah. I much prefer that. And as Hungry Boy says, it takes like 20 minutes to see everything in that street, and I believe that. But with his original colors, it just looks so much better.
That is the way it's just so much more natural. Recoloring old comics. There have been times when it's been done well. Look at this here. This is weird. What the hell? What in the hell? Anyway. But yeah, there have been times when it's been done well, but other times you just need to leave it alone. See, that's from the actual book, comic before they did all messed around with it. See if they got that any other art from. Oh yeah. That's a nice big spread right there. Great action.
I love that photograph below as well, but he's holding the two action figures. That's adorable.
Yeah, I was gonna show that one because I couldn't load it. There's Neal. Neal with the action figures.
Wow. I love that.
That's beautiful. Neal's first rule was always use photo references. That street scene looks like he did just that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is
I
one
kind
of
of want those figures now.
Yeah, me too. Well, those. See, I don't know what they look weird. They look like they're inked. I don't know where he got those from. I don't know what those are from.
They look like they're cel shaded.
This came from like I always wanted to get this here, this statue, double statue. Good lord, but I'm sure it's expensive now. I'm sure it's really terribly expensive. Oh, here we go. I think I found the page I wanted. No. Oh yeah, I love this shot. Now I think this might be one of the freaking recolored ones. It is. Damn it. But still, this is Superman toward the beginning just trashing alien ships. Oh, here's the one where he goes to the Typhoon and just jams his fists together and knocks it back. Again, I think that's from that damn hardcover. You look at artists today that work on comics, and they don't have this level of talent, and they all use computers. Noel, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
This is never gonna. This will never. The likes of this will never be seen again. Even look, he took some photos references like Club was talking about, and that's I love this big spread right here. This is from the actual. This is not from the recolor. Here of Ali just talking smack to the aliens. And there's Ali teaching Superman how to box.
So good.
Oh, there he is beating the crap out of Superman. Spoiler alert. But yeah, there you go. There's those figures. Damn, I want those. Wow. Those are weird looking. Are they actual figures or just kind of Photoshop thingy?
I think they're real figures. Somebody was talking about them in the chat.
Oh, okay. Weird. Hey, hello there, Dave. Good to see you there. Yeah. So, but that's a classic.
Captain James T. Skywalker said the figures were a disappointment.
Oh, yeah, they look weird. They do look weird. I'll tell you another thing that he's not as well known for that I loved him on Dead Man and Strange Adventures. This is one of my favorite covers right here. Look at that crazy cover.
That is great. So I don't know much about the character Dead Man.
Boston Brand was a trapeze performer in a circus who was murdered, and a god named Rama Kushner or whatever gives him the ability to. Well, Dead Man can basically possess anybody. In other words, he can even possess Superman's body and use it, but he can't talk to you unless, for example, if he wants to talk to Superman and Batman's standing next to him, he's got to possess Batman to talk to him, that sort of thing. Otherwise, he can't be heard. Mm-hmm. And he has crazy adventures. He's got a kind of wise Ben Grimm type of personality in a sense. And for years, he was trying to find his murderer. And Batman eventually, I think, helped him find him. Salty Texas, hello there. What's up, man? And Mazerus, what's up, Mazerus? So I love Dead Man, and his stuff on Dead Man was also, again, not as well known as his work on Green Lantern, Green Arrow, or Batman, of course, but this cover in particular, and there are many others. Just showing a few different random examples of some of his other stuff here. Again, like I said, he became, so well known with the DC characters, but he did Marvel stuff as well. Once in a while, he was doing covers for Marvel. I love the Defenders. God, I miss them. Another Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Again, there's more use of photos. Look. Even did some Inhumans comics for a while. Short time.
That
splash
I like
page.
That. That's awesome.
Hungry Boy, did anybody ever ink Neal Adams at Marvel, but Tom Palmer? It seems like he inked him everywhere. Salty, oh, you're too kind, man. You shouldn't have, buddy, but thank you so much. $1.99 super chat. Mad respect for the content. Hey, well, respect back at you, sir. Everyone, I don't have the Link available at the moment, but everyone, please, if you would, subscribe to our friend Salty Texas channel. I know Purple goes on there and hangs out with him. They do great stuff over there.
Yes, absolutely. Great to hang out with Salty on Tuesdays. So thank you. Good to see you.
Indeed. Well, we must talk sometime, sir. Good to meet you. Boston Brand had a brother named Cleveland Brand. Yep, also a high wire artist. Yes. Let's see here. Now, I'll tell you something, Purple, that I really loved of his. Again, we're going all over the place with Adam's art. At that time, he was doing a lot of commercial stuff in the Bronze Age, including stuff like Power Records stuff. Yes, Neal Adams did some Star Trek, a lot of Star Trek Power Records. Crazy, huh? But he was also doing, as someone who loved, if you as a Tarzan Edgar Rice Burroughs fan, my favorite covers are for the Tarzan books are his.
So I didn't even know he did these.
That's God, beautiful. Yeah. Only have a couple of them. He did tons of them. Not only did that, he also did some of these were used for covers as well. This is from his portfolio. But his Tarzan covers are iconic. I mean, I have a few of these books with his covers, and I love him. I love Neal Adams Tarzan covers. Could not says, look up his unpublished cover for X-Men 56. I will. Oh, thank you, Chris Persia. Thank you, Chris Persia. Appreciate that, my friend. There's Salty's channel. I'm sure you're probably all subscribed to him already, but if you're not, please do so, my friends. Let's see here. So yeah, the Tarzan covers. It's such a broad variety of work. And another thing I love of his, again, we're going obscure. We're going to look at some other stuff as well, but you ever see his Deadly Hands of Kung Fu covers?
Never.
But Marvel magazines. Billy Jack. Remember the movie Billy Jack?
I don't think I've ever seen Billy Jack. It doesn't ring a bell at all.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Am I missing out?
There are two of them. Billy Jack movies. You got those are. What's that guy's name? Tom what? What was Billy Jack's name, dudes? What's that guy's name? That actor's name? Yeah, he was. Those are. Oh, we're gonna pull up some other covers, but these are the only ones I was able to store today because I was gone all day. But yes, Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. See, Marvel in the 70s did a lot of mags. Oh yeah, we're gonna look at the Conan too. A lot of mags, black and white magazines on different things, and of course, as you may know, Kung Fu movies were huge at that point. And Shang-Chi even popped up in some of these. And I love them. But Billy Jack, yeah. Very cool.
That's incredible. I've never seen
really?
Billy Jack. No.
I think there are two Billy Jack movies. Am I wrong, guys? And I'm sure someone knows in the chat. Yeah, Tom Laughlin, thank you. That's right. Apollo meets Minion and Pupper. Did you know that the Pupper is the official Clobberin Times mascot now? The puppy.
I did not know, but that is awesome. Hey, sweetheart.
She has a channel. If we can get that link up in there.
She does. Yes, I subscribe.
And they got puppy videos. She got a zillion people watch some of those puppy videos.
So cute.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my goodness, my good friend Christopher Crocker. What's up, bro? What you doing tonight, buddy? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you out, man. I'm glad you're up and running. You are wrong. Thank you. You got to be more specific, dumbass. Pupper the Clobby Dog. But I'm sure he's probably right. I'm wrong about most things. So. But yeah, Billy Jack, Neal Adams of all cases. That was where he just ran around. The dude walked around with that hat, barefoot, and he was an Indian. He was he come back from Vietnam, and he was defending disenfranchised, shall we say, Native American folks, and against a bunch of dumbass redneck stuff. It is their cult classics.
Yeah, Steve Mitchell said there's 4 of the films.
Oh, there's 4? Okay, I don't really. Damn, dude.
Well,
the Born Losers.
Check them out.
There you go. The Born Losers. Billy Jack. The Trial of Billy Jack. Billy Jack Goes to Washington. I remember that one. How do you like that? Wow. Let's see here. So, let's go. more random with it. With some of these, what would be Neal Adams? We'll see some more Tarzan. Let's see here. You never have enough Neal Adams Tarzan in your life, in my opinion, because he did some remarkable work on that. What is that there?
Yes, I want to see more of these Tarzan covers.
Incredible.
So you say you have some of these ones. Will you collect the rest of
Yes,
them, do you think?
I would love to have the rest. I don't know how many I have anymore, or at least had. I mean, I'm not sure if I have. Uh, I'm not sure if I have any more of these or not. Like more than like 4 or 5 of them. But I remember buying them when they came out. I'll tell you who has everything. Of course, Claude has them all. Of course. Look at that one.
That's incredible. If you could own a piece of Neal's original artwork, what would you go for? Would you go for something like the Tarzan? Would you go Batman?
If I can own one piece of his original art,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably own. I almost want to say it'd be a cover,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I would probably want to own this cover, but maybe not. I might want to own this cover. Imagine you can imagine how much this cover's worth. Oh, I don't even want to know.
That's yeah. I love those. I've got to admit, I really like the one with Man Bat on the front
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
oh yeah, oh yeah. This, you know how much when they had this picture of this in the book I was telling you about that I loved as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
Batman from the 30s to the 70s, and of course I wanted this comic so bad forever when I was a kid, and of course you couldn't just go anywhere and find a damn comic, and I don't remember. I think I ended up getting it sometime maybe in the 80s. Ended up obviously various things through shops or whatever, end up maybe selling it. I don't have it anymore. And now I think this is probably I'd have to ask Mark D, but this is probably a pretty expensive comic.
I would imagine so. I really like Man Bat. We don't see enough of him.
Yeah. And, you know, after this, they gave him his own comic. It lasted all of 2 issues.
Oh, dear.
Salty, which Green Lantern Green Arrow comic would you? This is probably my favorite of the Green Lantern Green Arrow covers, just because he's chanting, he's doing the chant, and Green Arrow is being an ass. Never again.
Nope.
I don't know, man. It's tough, but that's like me picking a Kirby. No, actually, Kirby, I could do it. Actually, because I would want the splash page to Fantastic Four number 51 if I could have them. But with Adams, it's tough. Until somebody ruined this cover for me, it might have been this one. I still want it. I'm kidding. I still want it. I love you, Mark, wherever you are out there, buddy. Different Mark.
I'm sorry, Clubby. It's okay.
I still love it.
It's a nice cape. It's okay.
How about this one? I don't know. Maybe this would be one.
So I like that one, but I still prefer, if you're going to go with the oversized villain, I like the Joker one.
I might want this one just because it's got all the superheroes on it, except for Superman, of course. But you know, oh, I know which one. Let's see. I think I know. Why did I forget it? Why did I forget? If I could have any, I would probably, because it has a bunch of people on there. It might be this one. Of course, yes. It's got the Legion on there. What was I thinking?
And we know how much Clubby loves the Legion.
Yep, long live my Legion. But holy shit. Detective 400 is around $600.
Wow.
Yikes. Yeah, well, that figures. Yeah, this is the one, because I mean this is a reprint anyway. This whole inside but the only thing really new is the cover, because I actually have the comic, but yeah, I would want the original art piece to this cover. Can you imagine how much that is?
I don't know all of these characters. Who is the tiny character next to Crypto?
The lady? That's Shrinking Violet.
Ah, okay.
Yep, that's Shrinking Violet, and the little thinking You see the Beppo the super monkey.
Yeah.
That little glop next to him is Prody, the Prody life form. That's Prody 2, actually. It's a protoplasmic life form, and I probably deserve to go to hell for knowing stupid stuff like that.
I love it because I know for a fact that you could name off every character on this cover. It's awesome.
Well, who couldn't, though? That's easy. That's low hanging fruit right there. That's easy. Let's see. What about the other one here? Let's see. Also low hanging fruit. That'd be too easy. So it would never need to be a challenge. But again, this is also, I do love this cover. How about this one? Maybe I would want this one. Imagine having that. Hell, I would settle for just a big, nice poster of this framed.
Yes, that would look great. Poor Robin again.
Exactly. I want super dog. Hey, Apollonie, don't let Pupper hear you say that. You have a super dog. Pupper's gonna be hurt feelings. Best choice, Clobberin. I do want the Clobberin framed, of course. But yes, again, these wraparound covers. Oh my goodness. A little bit of interior action there. You know, as you probably know, they adapted this into a 2-part Batman animated series episode.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they did.
David Warner's voice as Ra's al Ghul is perfect.
Yes, I would argue that I don't think they got any of the characters on the animated series wrong when it came to who voiced them.
Andre Romano, who casts for those Timverse shows, I think I tend to agree with you. She has done a magnificent job. I've just started, just for the hell of it, started rebinging Justice League Unlimited again, just because I love it. Once in a while, I'll just go back to it, and so good. So good. How about that page? I would love that page. That's iconic right there.
That's awesome. I mean, any of these would look incredible.
The JLA JSA cover. Okay. What? Oh. Well, I meant that you are the Clobberin, like Fonzarello. I'm sorry. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Hey, as Fonzie would say. Clobby, Mrs. Valkyrie, I asked Neal Adams on his concept of his Man-Bat at a comic convention I attended in 2018. I could never put a price tag on that unforgettable moment. Fantastic.
Wow.
Neal would talk. Now, that's the thing. He loved to talk, and he loved to tell the stories and stuff. They also used to say about him, if you don't want to know what he thinks of his art, you better not you better not ask him. I mean,
but see, very honest.
He is that. Well, he's the guy that told Frank Miller that he had no talent. And he's admitted that he was wrong. He said, worst mistake I ever made. People have said that he admitted he was wrong. But he did do that.
I wish I could have been there for that conversation.
He wouldn't even let Miller into the crusty bunkers. Hey, now, Hungry, was Neal Krusty Bunkers or was he D Hands? I think he was Krusty Bunkers. Pretty sure he was Krusty Bunkers. There were like a bunch of freelance inkers who would ink stuff for the big two when they were behind on deadlines and stuff, and they needed anonymous inkers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he would let Frank in there.
I've got to admit, I do have a soft spot for Frank Miller.
Well, he was both. Okay, thanks. I love Miller. Well, I love Miller on some of his earlier stuff. Actually, I don't like when he went to Ronin, which was again at the shop. I think I probably told you. Have you ever seen his Ronin?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
When he was really changing his style for that, I thought, and then he did it even more so with Dark Knight Returns. I was kind of not too thrilled with the way he was transforming his style a little bit. The way, in a similar way to Keith Giffen, except Giffen was stealing his.
Mm-hmm. Too stylized, do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Something about it. Hey, Jeffrey Wilkinson. Hello there. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see here.
Hey, good evening.
Do you guys collect any Marvel masterpieces, trading cards set, or trading cards in general? If so, which sets do you own or wish to attain? I haven't gotten those in years. You remember those from the 80s, 90s, or 90s?
Oh, yes.
I don't. We were talking not too long, a few months back. Raquel and Mark were talking about that. Jeffrey, still have a few. I don't know if I have the full sets though, but I do like them. Those are very cool.
I've got a few sets, but none to do with comics. Sadly, I've got the full set of the Jurassic Park that came out.
Oh yeah, cool. I used to love card sets,
Mm-hmm.
especially movies. But they started doing some comics ones in the 90s, and I got a bunch of them. I even got the comic book creator cards. Yes, comic book creators' faces on cards. I'm not even kidding. I got that set.
I love this.
I love this one.
That's so good.
I do love this one. All Miller eyes are. Was it rhomboid? I said rhomboid, squarish boiled eggs. Are you saying his eyes look like Don Newton's eye? Well, Don Newton doesn't draw eyes. What is it with Don? By the way, what is it with Don Newton, whom I loved, who didn't draw eyes? Hungry Boy, I'm sure you have a comment on that. But it's true, Miller. Yeah, I just think he looked better. You know what's interesting is he became popular because of Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
And they start putting him on comics that he really didn't belong. In fact, you know, did you know that he got put on Doctor Strange, and they even announced it and plugged it because Frank Miller was popular. So they put out house ads for his Doctor Strange comic he was going to be doing. And then he got too behind doing other stuff, the Wolverine miniseries and Daredevil and other things. And even though they put ads in the comics for it, they never came out. So Frank Miller's Doctor Strange run was never realized.
It never happened.
Nope. But you look at the ad on him going, I'm not so sure Frank Miller needs to be doing Doctor Strange.
So it's probably for the best that it didn't happen then.
Yeah, maybe. It just goes to say that he's always been more of a writer than an artist. You know? Maybe a little bit. Kind of, sort of.
I'd agree with that, yeah. Did you ever get to meet Adams?
2 times. He's to set up, and of course, Claude's met him a bunch and talked to him. And our good buddy Mark, our long lost buddy Mark C, went up to his office one night, just invaded his damn office and talked to him up in New York. But yes, he's done a lot of cons. He used to do them here all the time. And I bumped into him at Wizard World, Pensacon, a bunch of others. He was there, and Dragon Con, and yes, and he's done. Oh God, he's been down here, down our way a lot. Yes, and I've talked to him a couple times. Now Claude, of course, has talked to him many times. Let's see. Did he actually? Let's see. I love Newton's eyes. So like Sergeant Schultz, I say nothing. Oh, I love Don Newton. And I love Don Newton's art, man. I love his Batman. Hello, JD Lewis. I love Don Newton, man. I just something about he just whites the eyes out. He just says, screw it. They don't need eyes. Eyes? What are those for? Now here's some Dead Man purple. Oh, so these Dead Man covers are spooky. Oh, man.
I need to look into Dead Man. I know of the character, but I've never read any of it.
Crap, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Dead Man. Yeah. Some of these are from Neal Reed. I hate the re-inking stuff, man. I love Neal Adams, but sometimes he re-inked stuff. Or they went back with these newer editions and re-inked them, and I want to pop somebody in the face. Stop it. I mean, you should see I'm not kidding you. You should see my Green Lantern, Green Arrow, big hardcover thing that I couldn't wait to get back in like 90, 98, 99, whatever it was. And I opened that. I was so excited. Keely Chow, roll tide there. I was so excited. Keely. Now, Neal said this was not his fault. He didn't do this. They recolored it. It looked like, oh, wow. It was heavily inked. It looked garish. It looked like shite. They did it with the Batman. I didn't get the Batman one after that because I saw they did it to Green Lantern, Green Arrow.
Put you off.
Oh, I still have it. I look at it on the
Yeah.
shelf sometimes. Could it really be that bad?
It is. It's too
Bad.
saturated.
Let's see. It
seeing
is.
them side by side. His original art is so much better.
Yeah, it's just leave it alone. I'm trying to find some more Dead Man here. He's a great character. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Look at this. Look at this splash.
Wow.
I mean, it's an ad splash, but yeah, just phenomenal stuff. Well, you ought to watch. Did you ever watch the Justice League cartoon? By the way?
Oh yes, yeah. I watched this.
Well, the Dead Man's on. You probably know him from that. The Dead Man's on an episode.
Yes, because then I know the character. I've just never read any of his. But yeah, I think I'm going to look into it.
Now, let's see here. Neal, and I want again. I don't want the hello there. Oh, J Mark Guy. How do you say that? Is it J Mark Guy? Hello, Matthew Pounder. Good to see you, buddy. Michael Beacom. Hello there. Oh, well, it's good to see you, Michael Beacom. Thank you. Let's see here. How do you say it? Is it J Mark Guy? Jamark Guy?
Jamark Guy? Yeah, I think so.
Superman 317, my all-time favorite. Yep, that. Oh, God. Thank you. I should have pulled that damn cover up. I'm mad at myself. Let me find it because that's a great one. Wait till you see this one. Good call, my friend. I couldn't find it when I was loading covers earlier. So this is one of the most intense covers you're ever going to see ever.
Oh, I recognize this. Yes.
Oh, I bet you've seen this. Everyone's seen this one, probably. In seconds, the kryptonite implanted in my body will kill me. But before I die, I'm taking you with me. Yeah. Superman, that's not very nice.
You mad?
You don't do that. How dare you, Superman? Yeah, I think I need to take this one off here and put it on our big screen here. Because it should have been here already. Let me take it off of here. Damn you. But and there's the thing. See, he had a favorite Adams cover like so many do. And let us show him a good picture of it.
It's like we were saying, he's got such a prolific body of work. We could just pull covers up and splash pages and interiors.
Yes.
And just you could talk about them for the next 5 hours. That's how incredible he was.
Remember when we did the Kirby covers a while back?
Yes.
And I couldn't load enough. I mean, I couldn't get enough in there. I had to put them like 2 different ways, and there were so many I wanted to put, so I decided to just go with like 104, and that was nothing.
Yes.
It was agony.
That was hard to cut them down. I remember you saying. Yes.
Oh my God! So I decided to say it's not so much a top. It's not maybe a dedicated. It's not really a dedicated top 104, but it's just 104 covers. And I put some of my favorites, and you have to leave so much out. It's like, no, man, there's just so many great covers by Neal Adams himself. When I go with the great cover artists, needless to say, it's Kirby, it's Adams, it's Gil Kane, it's Nick Cardy. There are a few others that just stand out as I mean, yes, obviously they're great at other things. Don't get me wrong. But you go, man, nothing like an Adams cover, nothing like a, fill in the blank cover. So here we go. There's that nice. I'm glad thank you so much for reminding me of that. I'm mad at myself. Well, hello there, Wendy Webb, Trauma Warrior. Great to see you. Woke Breaker. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in. What a great crowd we have here tonight.
We do. Great to see everyone.
Oh, it wouldn't let me load it because I have too many pictures. I gotta lose a picture. So.
Darn you, StreamYards.
StreamYard sucks with these limited overlay things. They don't let you do anything. I mean, it's not nearly enough. For me, anyway. Oh, well. But I'm getting that picture up there. I'm getting that cover up there because it deserves to be up there. It should have been up there. And dang it, Jamart Guy showed it, mentioned it. Here we go. All right, now. Squeeze one more cover out of these bitches. We'll have to do the rest of them on the Google thingy.
Clubby will not be denied.
Yes. A Pop Culture Republic. A lot of great, wow, so many wonderful people here tonight. Great to see you all, paying tribute to the great Neal Adams. And it's wonderful to see you all here. Let's see here. But yes, I'm taking you with me. That's an intense cover.
That is a great cover. I just love the shadowing on his face.
Yeah. Yep, that green. You can tell he's infected with green, with a kryptonite. Hope that Gary shows off some cover books that Neal Adams worked on for tomorrow's episode of. Oh yeah, well I hope he does too. I just went into the members stream and talked to Gary for a couple of minutes there, so he knows about Adams. Maybe he will. We'll see. All right, let's see here. Oh, I know what we want to look at. You know, Neal Adams didn't do a lot of Conan, but he did some Conan. Power Records, too. So we got to look at some Neal Adams Conan. Actually, they used one of the comics he did for a Power Records. And I had this Power Record. I got to find the Power Record picture of it.
Oh, that is so cool.
That's a great cover. Yeah.
That is great.
Let's see. Oops. So, what did I do? Did I get out of it already? Oh, damn it. I'm having some slow StreamYard spot problems here. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, StreamYard has been a little bit weird for the past few days. I noticed that. It's not as responsive as it was.
Yes, indeed. He also did some covers. There's a bit of an Adams cover. And, of course, he's done some paintings.
That's beautiful.
I always love this one here. Uh-oh. Can you see it? Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'd say
why are you
Someone's
going for
about to go into the volcano.
Yes. There we go. Sorry, I was having a bit of a... There we go. Sending... Trying to find the damn Power Record. I want to find the Power Records. See whatever. Well, we'll do that in a second. See whatever. Because he did... I mean, that's how I learned how to read Power Records. JLU, Dead Reckoning was one of my favorite episodes with Dead Man. Yes, God, I love that episode. Yeah, he asked for help from Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman to recover the orb stolen by the Secret Society.
Mm-hmm. Could not be reached for further comments. Neal also did movie posters. Grizzly
he did.
1976 comes to mind.
Oh, he sure did.
I didn't know that.
Well, let's show him. If he calls it out, why not let him look at it? Not that he could do it himself, but you know what I mean. Not that I'm, reinventing the wheel here, but he did so much stuff. There it is.
Yes, I recognize that.
That was a scary movie.
It was a scary movie. I think I saw that film when I was way, way too young to see that. But
Christopher George, Richard Jekyll. Wow. There you go. Yes, indeed, Wendy. Absolutely. He is. I mean, he's just left a mark that no stream could ever, cover everything. We're just kind of just celebrating some of his work here, showing different bits and pieces. And we have a friend here, Purple. Mark D, purple.
Hey, thanks for
Hey, Mark, great to see you.
great to see you. Yeah, it's so make a joke, Clobby. I'm only here because of purple, but just kidding.
Well, what other reason could there be?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever meet Neal, Mark? You've been in a lot of cons.
No, I did, but never did. Unfortunately, and then you kind of regret that stuff too, where you're like, I didn't miss going back to walk back to the con to see Dan Slott now, but yeah, someone like Neal, sometimes you just,
Dan Slott. Why are you bringing up Dan Slott?
I'm just joking because I was going to go back to my friend. I'm like, I'm too tired. I'm going to go get some book. This was years ago, and I never did. So, but no, things like that where you don't realize it too. Where it's the same thing with family that's passed or friends, and you wish you had the
Right.
you always wish you had that one more time to to see them or talk to them. So, so it's great here. I mean, it's such a sad thing, but I'm learning so many things now about Neal Adams that I didn't know, and just these movie posters and just those fantastic covers that made you buy the books, right? Because you saw those covers and you like, I want that, or whoever was just saying in the chat that was their favorite cover, and their the mom brought home, and things like that just can get ingrained in your memory from seeing those covers.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing he did that I just loved, purple. Again, I grew up loving these, and he did some art, so much art for these Power Records. Did you have Power Records over there or no?
I know of them. I've never seen them myself, but I'm pretty sure they are available.
This was one of my favorite ones, book and record right here, and it was from an Adams comic. They're all taken from a lot of these. The book and record ones were taken from established comics. But look at these covers. I mean, wow! I wish I could fit them on my. Let's see. Anyone else out there buy Power Records? Major regret. Neal Adams was at one of the Planet Comic Con conventions in Kansas City. Never made it to his table where he was there. He has a big table too. I hear you there. Sorry about that, Mike. I know what you mean. He has a big table. I mean, he usually gets. I mean, he would always put a gigantic display up there. But yeah, let's see. Look at all these covers. I mean,
is that a Batman Power Record on the top right? The purple. Yeah, I think I have that. I think I have that somewhere. I should frame that and put that on my wall.
Oh, that would look great.
Yeah, here's one of my favorite covers on his Superman Power Record.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. I'm checking the eBays now for Power Records.
Of course. Oh, look at this He did a lot of Batman ones. Of course, again, Star Trek. Oh, here's that one.
That one's hanging on my wall right now.
This one I had.
Star Trek one.
Which one?
The one with Kirk leaning up forward. Yep, that one's on my wall right now, framed. So Michaels. We have Michaels in the States.
Yeah,
you can get those for like very cheap, or you wait till they go on sale and get 12 by 12 record album frames. You can get a pack of them.
I wanted this so bad.
They're great to hang on your wall. It is so awesome.
I wanted this $6 Million Man one so bad. And by the way, here's a $6 Million Man cover he did for the $6 Million Man Charlton comic.
Yeah.
Oh my God, awesome. I wanted that so bad. Hey, so Jeffrey says, if Marvel tries to make a villain movie, I think that they should do the Kingpin and use the Devil's Reign story. But with villains, what villains would you like to see brought to screen? We've talked, Jill, good to see you. Interview with Jill, my love. All right, great to see you there. Actually, Purple and I have done a lot of shows where we've talked about our villains that we like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a hero kind of guy. I love my heroes, but without the villain, you don't have an engine in your story. I mean, you gotta have, something to drive your story, the engine in there. So. My favorite villain of all time, and I think Purple, is we both love Dr. Doom. In a perfect world, I'd like to see him done well.
Yes.
We're never getting it, though. We're never going to get it, Purple.
No, it's not going to happen, and I'm kind of resigned to it, unfortunately. But we've talked villains before, and how important it is. Everybody loves a hero, but to have a villain that you can get behind as well. Yes.
Yeah, like that. We talked about before that the Doom miniseries that was so, I'm forgetting the name of it.
I have this, by the way.
That was so well done. Like, if they adapted something like that, but we're never going to.
Books of Doom.
Books of Doom. Thank you. Yep. And that was so fantastic. And then you'll never get anything like that. I mean, one can only hope, but that'd be nice.
I have this book, by the way. I love it. I have both volumes, and these were in the late 70s or early 80s, where it was. I had to order them from a special distributor. They're very thin books, The Art of Neal Adams, but at the time, I still have them both somewhere.
There's a lot going on in that.
Yeah. I wish I could find the cover to the second. I can't probably pull it up.
I just really like the Hulk coming in.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to stomp all these witches.
It's so good.
Oh, look at that, man. Adams doing Kitty Record comics. But what? You know what? We forgot to look at this cover earlier. I forgot to load it.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah,
it's a great. We looked at it. Well, we talked about it last night with inked by Bernie Wrightson. That's a rarity. How about a Christmas?
You can't go wrong with that, right?
There's something about the superhero with the Christmas that just makes me smile.
I love it.
Doesn't matter who it is.
Superheroes go along with Christmas. There you go. There's a big one there. Always love this. So every like at Christmas, I like to post these. Yeah.
It's just so much. Yeah, it's so much fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Neal, it's funny. Neal's obviously, again, he did the darker Batman. He does the serious Green Lantern, Green Arrow. But he also did these. He did so much ad work with superheroes and so much stuff like this for the Kids Power Records and stuff. And he always liked to put those big smiles on the superheroes' faces. Superheroes smiling. Remember those?
What, seeing people smile? Yes, I remember that back in the day.
Yeah,
everything's supposed to be dark and depressing.
Yep. Always wanted to do my own YouTube music video of Behind Blue Eyes from The Who using comic frames of Doctor Doom. The lyrics are that would be
cool.
It would be cool. Do it. Do it, Michael Bickham. Yes, do it. Do it. Let's see here. Oh, here's a touching one. Look, this is Neal Adams drawing Superman carrying his creators, Siegel and Schuster. Because for those who don't know, and we didn't touch on this yet, in the 70s, in the years leading up to Superman the movie, the two gentlemen who created Superman, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, were not in a very good way. They were obviously very old. Just not doing very well. And obviously had been screwed out of a lot of their own, basically their own property.
Is this something that happens quite a lot with comic book creators?
Back then all the time, yeah.
Yeah, because I've heard you talk about this in the past, and it seems that a lot of the greats kind of really got screwed over.
Oh, absolutely. So many of them did. And didn't Adams do the cover for Heroes Against Hunger? I think he did, Claude. Claude, you have a link, by the way, if you feel like coming in. He knows. He knew Adams better than anybody. Well, better than me anyway. Anyway, so he, at the time, Neal Adams really got in there and shamed DC and Warner. Hello there, Pleasant Valley. To pay Siegel and Schuster because they had this looming film coming out, and they didn't want any bad publicity. Obviously, did they get what they deserved? Did they get anywhere close to what they deserved? No. But he got them some money. Mm-hmm. He got them some because they were living on nothing. It was pretty bad.
And some recognition too, finally in the credits, right? Not that that's they put bread on the table.
They got recognition, yeah. I mean, they got. Again, it took a long, long time before they started their heirs finally started getting anything close. They were very old when this happened. I think Joe Shuster was nearly blind. It was bad. The artist Joe Shuster, but Neal. Without Neal, they wouldn't have gotten. They wouldn't have gotten anything. Neal really, got justice for Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, or at least a little bit. He got a little bit of something. Yeah. Jamart guy. I'm finally learning how to pronounce it. I love those. That's a good idea. I love those DC calendars. A lot of great Adams art on there. But yes, so Neal was a hero of the situation. He really helped a lot of people.
That's really sad. Like I say, this does seem to be something that happened continuously with creators, and you think they would have learned, but
we said Bob Kane. Actually, Clobberin told me actually his dad was a lawyer, so he actually was able to get a contract for him that was. We said Bob Kane actually kept him, kept him getting paid off, I guess, or getting money. That was,
yes, we have Qui-Gon Whiskey with us, Claude. You hearing us? Are you there? Claude, are you there?
He's been torturing Raquel with all those gorgeous pictures on Twitter the last few days with all of his collection. Raquel was all the awesome Star Trek books and figures and toys and.
You got an echo back there, but we can't hear you. Are you wearing? I hope you're wearing headphones. There. He'll get it sorted out, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, how about now? You got your headphones there?
How about now?
There you go.
Okay.
That's better.
Hey, I believe
It's not that much better. It's still just my voice.
I believe you know Mark and Purple.
Good evening.
I don't know them. Yeah, I have watched them do stuff on YouTube, and
Oh. Well, if you behave, maybe you can get Purple's autograph.
If she writes it in fuchsia, that would be a bonus. So, what are we talking about tonight? What's going on?
Well, you knew Neal Adams better than I did because you met him and talked to him a bunch of times.
Look, I didn't really know him. You know who knew him?
I know that.
Our friend Mike Bush, who
yes, we have. Tell him about Mike. Yeah.
This Big Mike, as we call him, because he is big and his name is Mike, was the
very creative,
biggest ever meet. Every time Neal.
You're popping in and out. What's the deal?
On of money on him.
Oh, it seems like sorry, Claude. We missed you the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, you dropped out there for a second. I don't know if that was but you were hearing you now. So,
no, I'm a high school graduate. I didn't drop out.
The Mike Bush, our good buddy Mike. Well, we don't say his name. Let's give him a code name. Big Mike.
Yeah. Well,
even though it's too late.
He was everywhere that Neal Adams was, convention-wise. He went to every Pensacon that Neal Adams was at, Wizard World.
Dragon Con.
I didn't see him at Dragon Con, though. That was weird. But he had his son carry the comics around. They would carry a comic box and one of those little radio flyer wagons that he would put the stuff in and carry it around with. And I was at Wizard World a few years ago talking to Neal, because that's what, you said a while ago. Neal Adams loves to talk. I don't know if it's because he loved to hear his own voice or because he really had a lot to say, but he would not shut up. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. Anyway, Mike Bush goes up to him with a freaking stack of comics. I don't know how many it was, but Neal looked up at Mike, and his eyes kind of went kind of up to the top of his lids, and he said, "I've told you before, when you bring that many, all I can give you is a $10 discount." And Mike goes, "That's fine. That's fine."
His name is not, by the way, that's a
all right.
That's a code name, Mike Bush. We don't know.
He was charging Mike $40 $40 a book. Mike ended up spending something like $1,200.
Wow.
For all the books again. I'm thinking, wow, $40 for an autograph. Oh, I guess if Stan Lee can get 95, Neal Adams can get 40. And I'm looking down on the table, and there's a bunch of Neal Adams sketchbooks. And there's one with Conan on the cover, and it says something like The Savage Neal Adams. So I open it up. Oh, there's an autograph. How much is this book? $20. Okay. I win.
I win.
But I did get his autograph on a lot of other stuff. When he first went to Dragon Con, I don't think he charged for his autograph because he had a lot of merchandise there. What he had was I gave him my Superman versus Muhammad Ali to autograph. He sold me a $4 Mylar sleeve to put it in, and I bought the Hard Traveling Heroes hardcover set and the Dead Man hardback slipcover, and my wife is standing there going, I don't know, do you want all of these? I said, yeah. She goes, they're like $50 a piece. I said, well, ask him how much of a price break he'll give you if you buy all of them. And basically ended up getting $50 off. It was like getting a book free.
That's
and
not bad.
Nice.
But that was his son, the guy who called himself Spyda,
Josh,
Spyda.
Yeah.
He was the one doing the business stuff, and he did great sculptures. He had this freaking Conan sculpture that looked like something Neal Adams drew.
Oh, cool.
And that was
Neal Adams. Cool.
That was the kind of the good thing about him was that he could sculpt the way his dad drew. Now his son Josh Adams was one of the main character designers for the first 3 years of King of the Hill, and he was so good. People tried to get him fired. I don't know what they were doing. He just said, we had these like 3 people that didn't like me, and they wanted me fired. He said, and one day Mike Judge comes in. Mike Judge, Beavis and Butthead and all that stuff.
Yep.
He comes in for a meeting. They said he never came in. He's going to come in. What's he going to do? And the guys are floating around. Hey, let's fire Josh. Let's tell him to fire Josh because Josh isn't doing anything. And like I said, the first 3 years only of King of the Hill, he was a main character designer. Mike Judge comes in and he says, hey, who's doing the character designs? And the guys who wanted him fired were going, it's him. It's him. It's that guy right over there. It's Josh. And he goes, Josh? Josh who? Josh Adams, sir. Hey, thanks for making me look so good.
See, Neal, man,
I love the King of the Hill, too.
I love these calendars. Good God, I can look at them all day. I mean, so this is what Neal was doing when he wasn't doing interiors. He was doing all this ad work for DC and others.
Did you tell where the name Krusty Bunkers came from?
I didn't tell that. You may do so.
You don't know? Oh, you do know it, but okay. These were guys who were like they would crash at the studio. As they worked so hard, they worked late into the night, and they had little bunks in a room. I don't know, it might have been a broom closet or something, but overnight you get kind of lonely and there's no Krusty Bunkerettes around. So what you did was you sloughed off a little love juice, and after a while it dried up and became crusty on the bunk.
Okay, thanks. Now I'm glad I didn't know.
Well, that's what he said. And D hands means diverse hands, and that was just about anybody who passed through who wanted to pick up a quick buck or just help out.
Wow. Wow.
I'm never going to forget that story now.
You're going to try, though. You're going to try.
I couldn't. He told me that like 13 years ago.
Neal Adams told you that?
Yeah. Oh, and he also if
Neal Adams told you, well, it's a tribute to him. So we'll.
It could be just something that he's making up because he was actually funny. Can I do another one really quick?
Yes, please.
Okay. I asked him, like, what was it like working with Dick Giordano, because they seemed to mesh. It was like Swan and Anderson, and he said, get this now, these are his words. He said, Dick and I made love on a weekly basis. I said, okay. And he said, by that I mean Dick was the best inker that I ever had. He was complimenting him, and he said, but he was deaf as a post, and he said he's the nicest guy in the world, but if you put him in a three-piece suit, he looked like one of the mafia enforcers you see in movies.
Dick Giordano did look like that, yeah.
So he said some company owed Neal Adams $1,200 for a coloring book he did. And he said, $1,200 is not a lot of money, but it was my $1,200. He said, so he called, he wrote letters, he tried to get the money from them, and nothing happened. They ignored him, or they didn't answer or they didn't return his letters. So he calls Dick one day and says, hey, you got that 3D suit? And he said, hey, come on over, and I need your help on something. So Dick shows up at the publisher's office, and Neal comes in, and he goes, hey, is Bob Jones there? Hey, he owes me $1,200.
Good night,
and
Dave.
The secretary goes, she says, let me check. And so she calls in, and she describes the people out there. And he thought that there was like a mafia hitman in his outer office. So he said, Neal Adams said, he just decided to go ahead and go in the room. He said, I expected the guy to be crawling out of his window. But when I walked in there, he was writing a check. So he wrote the
Funny
check,
how that works.
And he handed it to Neal, and that's it. That's fine, thank you. It was like, it was months, and it was $1,200, but it paid off in a good story.
And didn't bounce, I hope.
He didn't mention that it bounced, but I'm pretty sure it didn't.
Remember Southland when Langaw had this Jimmy Carter's coloring book? He was trying to, because it was Neal Adams, he was trying to sell it for like $20 or whatever.
I've never seen that before.
He's a con man, but
that's a rare.
Yeah, I do remember. I remember the rare Doctor Who buttons that he had that he made, or that he had you make them.
Don't tangent. That's not to do with Neal Adams.
And the movie scripts that he had.
No.
What didn't he say? Didn't he say something one time? He told DC.
Comic Relief Crusader, what's up, dude?
He told DC they should get Neal Adams to draw something, and DC, of course, listened to him. But it was just but it was just one of those funny things about Neal, and he was very nice every time I met him. And the first time I met him, I sat beside him to shake his hand for a picture. But what he didn't know was my wife was doing video, and she did screenshots of the picture. So I'm basically posing, holding hands with Neal Adams, and he's smiling. He's posed completely still, and I said, "Did you take it yet?" She goes, "Oh yeah, I got it." And I looked at him and said, "Oh, she does video, and she takes a screenshot from it later." And he still smiling said, "Okay," and he let go of my hand and just dropped.
He was now. What was? Let's see here. There was something that Neal. I guess since we should take not without going too far into it. There was something Neal really cared about that he always loved to talk about that nothing to do with comics that he was really in love with. A lot of people don't know about it though. His little, what was it? Something,
the
Earth theory or whatever.
The Pangea theory.
Yeah. Now a lot of people don't know that Neal Adams was really into that.
Yeah.
So, if you could tell everybody just a little bit what that is.
It's like, all right, you take a look and you've got this ball of dirt. And over time, there's forces within the ball of dirt that push it out, and don't break it up. The magnetics and the lava and stuff like that. I'm not a scientist. I'm not even.
Hey, Bikini Draws, what's up, buddy?
Well, anyway, he said that it pushes out and moisture attracts and there's condensation and it fills the oceans. And the Pangea theory is that the planet didn't break up. It pushed out, and the land masses pushed away from each other. And if you look at a globe, I don't know if he looked at that and go, "Hey, that shit could be real." It looks like you could take the thing apart and piece together, like I don't know, like Africa and South America look like they fit next to each other, and other places. Yeah. That's what he did, and he didn't just do that. He went on radio, like late night talk radio, Coast to Coast AM, and talked about that. And I was listening one night. Neal was making perfect sense. I mean, he probably out of his mind and didn't know what he was talking about, but he was making perfect sense to me. And a guy called in and said, "Look, I'm a scientist. This guy's a comic book artist. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. This isn't true. This is one of those conspiracy theories, and he just needs to shut up about it." And the guy goes, "Oh, Neal, what do you say to the caller?" And he goes, everybody's got opinions. And that's what he said.
Neal handled it. Yeah. Neal handled it well. Oh, man. I love these. This calendar stuff. There's some of Neal's work on calendars. The DC calendars, man. I wish I still had all these things.
I've got one. I don't know what I have. I think it's that one, the 76. Yeah, it might be the 79.
Hey, go to Tron. What's that? Yeah, Matthew Pounder. That probably is where Miss Mystic came from. I guess I should tell the cover Miss Mystic, since Neal would have wanted to. Not that he would have cared. But, I mean, one of the first Batman comics was Ra's al Ghul Treasury Edition. Go to Tron, ask and you shall receive. But, I think you're probably talking about this lovely wraparound cover that I've shown a bunch of times tonight.
Yep. Yeah, he sold that as a print.
No, man. Now, one of the things Neal did that at cons that used to not get on my nerves. I couldn't really afford a lot of those prints anyway. But sometimes he would have some of his classic work, but prints of them, that you could buy on his big, he like had 5,000-6,000 tables. Sometimes he took a lot of tables, and a lot of times they were re-inked, like I talked about earlier. So to the point where I'm like, oh no, why did you do that? I wish it just looked like the normal damn thing that I loved before. But still, he didn't. I should have got this one when I had a chance.
Yeah. Hey, were you down at Media Underground when he showed up, like right before Wizard World?
No, but you and Mark were.
Yeah, Stephen Chure and I were there.
Mark, as in Mark C. Comics.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Mark C.
Well, that's how they know him here.
Okay. Well, his name's Stephen Chure to me, because anyway, he was Mark C. and I were there. Didn't mean to give away his secret identity. Mark C. and I were there, just sort of standing around looking at stuff, and Neal Adams is over there talking to people about the prints and how much they cost. And he said, "Guys let me tell you something." I'm listening to him. He said, "Guys aren't going to listen to what I'm saying," but we were. He said, "Their wives or their girlfriends are going to tell them how much these things are because they don't listen." And he pointed to me. He said, "Look at that guy right over there. He's not listening to a word I said." And I'm looking up on TV. They were running like Secret Origins of the DC Comics, and it was the segment with Wonder Woman, with Linda Carter. And when he said, "He's not even paying attention," I pointed to the TV and I said, "Hey, Linda Carter."
He couldn't say that, could he? Yeah. What could you possibly say to that?
You can fuck with Neal Adams. I think he loves that kind of shit, the interaction that people do with him. And I think one time when he finally recognized me, he remembered me from coming up to him so many times. I asked him, I said, Are you fit to go on these kind of things all the time? He said, "Come here." Okay. He said, "Feel my arm." And I didn't know what he meant. So I reached up and I grabbed his shoulder. And he goes, "No, down here." His bicep. And it was rock hard. It was like granite. And I said, "Whoa, impressive." He said, "I work out 2 hours a day." He said, "I am not a wimp." Wow. He said, Don't think I'm just a guy who draws comic books. This is real."
Don't mess with Neal Adams.
Or he had like concrete implants.
I was going to say, have you those pencils that he's picking up here?
Yeah,
he did. I was outside of the hall one time, and of course I found out Neal has to go to the bathroom like everybody else. But I saw him going by, and I waved at him. He waved at me. Coming back, I'm down by the electrical outlet charging my cell phone against the wall. I see Neal walking back, and I yelled out. And it was you remember how big that place was. And even with people in there, you could hear the echo. I said, Neal Adams, ladies and gentlemen, the handsomest man in comics. And he just looked at me and grinned. I went from an annoyance to a laugh every once in a while. His wife didn't like me to start with.
What's up?
I mentioned a certain person of our mutual acquaintance that used to work for Neal.
Yeah.
And he
ain't saying
me
his name on the show ever.
No, we're not. It's verboten. And it means
he speaks of someone that was on my show twice in the old days and never will be again. So.
Yeah, and you didn't get a word in.
And you said Neal Adams' wife didn't like you, Claude?
I said that we had a mutual acquaintance. I didn't say we had a mutual friend. And when I said his name, she looked up from counting money
not happy.
And gave me the evil eye. And he said, let me tell you about so-and-so. And he told me a quick story. And I went, wow. And I just said, like in front of her, I said, wow, what an asshole. And she grinned a little bit. She's like, Well,
that's true.
She's kind of warming up to you at that point then.
Yeah.
Just let this sink in for a second. It's a guy that I will never speak to again. And
wow, you're pretty forgiving too, guy. I mean,
I let him. I was dumb enough to let him come back on a second time, but this was many, many years ago. And no, never again. Oh, by the way, Claude, you were right. He reached out to me because all I did was on Facebook. I put like a Neal picture up on my whatever it is, the cover piece or whatever. And he sent me some kind of thing. I guess he wanted to get in touch with me to talk about.
Does he want to come on your podcast and
some
talk
kind of write up? Some kind of tribute to Neal he sent me. I didn't pay attention to it. Yeah. So, but you were right though. Remember, you said he's probably gonna. You said as he contacted you,
he's gonna make it about him.
Yeah, gonna make it about him. But anyway, he won't be here ever.
Yeah.
I don't hold grudges, folks. But this one,
that one you do.
That's a self-holding grudge, though.
I don't really hold.
I mean him.
Wow. Well, when everyone's mad at you for having somebody on, you probably shouldn't have him on. I was like, God, why'd you have him back on? God, he was terrible. It's like, okay, I promise, never again. Good Lord. Again, that was like 10 years ago. But
yeah. I talked to him one time. It was like a pre-show thing. And I really thought I'd be on the phone with him for like 10 or 15 minutes. My battery died while I was on the phone with him. And when it died, it went off. And I go and plug it in. And he called me back.
Yes, I agree. That's right, Kal-El. Yes, mercy is for the weak, and the deserves no mercy. Yeah. So, but man, look at the great crowd we got here.
Who came in?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You will have it. You will have it. Purple Valkyrie TV. You will have a background story. It's just that I don't want to say a name. I don't want to say that name on there.
I've got to know. I think I've heard you tell this story. Yeah,
it's just basically it's a guy that he's. I guess you could say.
I'll give you. Is it an anagram?
He's a comic art historian. Let's put it like that.
Renal Muchers.
Sort of, yeah. But fortunately, no one really knows who he is.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
he's been kicked out of our friend the Kurt Swan group because he was starting fights.
You know you're an ass when you get kicked off a Comic Book Man, or when you get made fun of on Comic Book Man.
Our
he got made a fool of.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
He made himself on Comic Book Man one time. You know that show?
He was on. He was on Comic Book Man. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I must have seen. I've seen every episode of that. So
you saw it then. He made a dumb fool of himself.
He walks in, he's got a Batman cowl that is really cool.
An Adam West cowl.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah, and he thought it was like worth so much money or something.
Yeah, it's worth $250. There's a guy who makes them for $250, and
they're
like Pawn Stars. Best I can do is $20 or
then
whatever.
He brought in these prints The really nice prints from Superman the movie around the time, very rare. He insisted they were by
they were by an artist. I can't remember his name
right,
now,
but he insisted
he was
they
like,
were by what was the artist he kept saying it was by? There wasn't. Oh, got famous artists who did a lot of movie posters.
No, he didn't say. No, in fact, he said somebody else, but it was that artist, the guy who did. He ended up doing Indiana Jones and stuff like that because he got better. He did the Star Wars things, but that was him. Yeah, he did Spider-Man and Batman and Superman. That I think he might have done a Captain America, but
Drew Struzan.
Yes, Drew Struzan. Yeah, it turned out it was him, but he thought it was somebody else.
He claimed it was by the first person to die of AIDS in the world, and he wanted like $30,000 for it. And the guys looked it up online, and they told Kevin Smith, "You give it like $35."
Yeah,
but he was sure it wasn't by Drew Struzan.
So he was either lying or he just didn't know his shit.
Yeah, but we're not saying his name. No, you can figure it out. And he does dumb lectures at cons that nobody watches.
Well, he watches them.
I don't know. Carlos went to one. I tell you that he went to this Kirby lecture, and he said he fell asleep at San Diego. He said he was the only one in the room.
Good Lord. Well, he has somebody in the back of the room with a shaky hand do like cell phone videos of him.
Yeah. He dresses like Elvis. Yeah.
And
I'm not saying his name.
And he loves Bruce Springsteen. He thinks of him as a father figure.
And we had we had the son of legendary. I had Mart Weisinger, the legendary Superman editor. Who passed away a long time ago, but his son.
What was his?
This person got his son to come on my show, and then he kept talking over him the whole time, wouldn't shut up.
And then when he started to say something, he stopped. He was going, whatever his name was, like Jack. But Jack. It's like
Henry. Yeah.
What Henry? He called him Hank. He said, but Hank.
Anyway,
it's like I think this guy knows what his dad's abilities were, and he kind of.
Well, everyone wanted to hear him. They didn't want to hear that guy that I'm not saying his name of. Yeah. That guy that Neal Adams punched one time, by the way. So this story is relevant, folks, because Neal Adams punched him. Didn't he punch him?
Oh, can I tell you? Can I tell you that one?
Yeah, without saying the name.
This comes from Neal Adams. He said, "Let's call the guy Arnold." And Arnold is like a regular employee at Continuity Graphics, and he just does stuff, tracing, light boxing, and stuff like that. But he sees this girl working there, and he takes a liking to her. So every time he sees her, he makes a point to bump into her. Like, oh, hey, sorry. Hey, I'm sorry.
He didn't punch him.
He would bump into the girl, and he did it several times. And somebody brought it to Neal Adams' notice, and he actually saw it. And he says, Arnold, come here. Let me show you something. He said, you know that times you're bumping into Thelma Lou? And he goes, it's just playful. He goes, let me show you what that's like. He said, I hip checked him into a wall. And he said,
Adams with the violence, boys.
He said, that's what that feels like. Don't ever do it again if you want to keep working here. He said, okay. And then he apparently was carrying a torch for Neal, and he thought they were still friends. And he goes to the New York Comic Con, and there's Neal with his setup.
Exactly.
And he's in this gigantic booth that's Neal Adams' store. And Arnold, for that is probably his name, probably not,
Arnold
comes in and he starts criticizing the setup. I would have done
the
this
layout,
over there.
Yeah.
And he goes, you're criticizing the layout that my daughter designed? Ooh. And he didn't get the hint. He didn't hear Neal going, hey, you better shut up. My daughter did this. You don't know shit. Shut up. And he goes, yeah, but it would have been better if you did this, this, and this. He goes, here, let's go for a walk. So he puts his arm around, this is Neal Adams describing what happened. So he puts his arm around Arnold, and they're walking from that dealer's room floor. They walk out into the hallway. Neal got his arm around Arnold the whole time, and they walk out the door. out into the sidewalk, and Neal looks at him and says, "Don't come back in." And he went. He got the convention organizers, and he said, "This guy is not to come back in, or I'm packing all my stuff up and leaving." So somebody got his pass, because I'm pretty sure he didn't pay for it. Somebody got his pass and told him, "You're making Mr. Adams nervous." No, he was making Mr. Adams feel like he was going to go kick somebody's ass. So they told him, they said, "So long, Arnold. Have a nice day." And it wasn't Schwarzenegger.
And Arnold still like writes about him and all stuff like he's his pal. It doesn't have anything to do with Arnold.
I found
his real name's not Arnold. Everybody.
No, I found he put this picture of a Batman drawing, color Batman drawing that he did on the wall of his staircase, and he loves for everybody to see it. He was bragging about it, and I showed it to Neal, and he said, "Yep, yeah, he stole it from me."
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, that is pretty good though. Neal Adams was a superhero confirmed, folks.
Yeah.
He didn't just draw him. That's a rare Aquaman by him, by the way. I love that Aquaman by him.
He also said he was supposed to do some kind of a comic or a book illustration with Harlan Ellison, and he said, "Wow, Harlan Ellison! I'd love to do some work with Harlan Ellison." He said,
"Good night, Steve. Night, brother."
He's in New York. Harlan is out on the West Coast. He gets a call at like 2:00 in the morning, and it's Harlan Ellison. There you go. He opens the conversation with, "Neal, you old son of a bitch." And they start talking about hey, I like this that you did, and I like that you did. He says, and Harlan Ellison says, "We really should work together because you're an asshole and I'm an asshole, and together we can make magic." And he said, Neal's like 2:00 in the morning. He just said, "Harlan, I'm not an asshole." It's like, let's talk about this when I'm awake. I don't know what they ever did, if they ever did anything.
I don't think so, but maybe.
Oh.
Well, all right, Miss Mystic. Listen, there was a comic company called it was just getting started in the early 80s. They got Jack Kirby to go work for them, and then they got Neal Adams. And we were all excited about this comic, well, because it was Neal Adams, Miss Mystic. And he did a pretty nice job on the art, and we overordered on it like jackasses.
Yeah, I think everybody did.
All right, hey Neal, Noel, thanks for being here, man. Have a good one. Take care. It's great to see you, buddy.
Take care, Noel.
Good night, Noel.
Take care, man. So Neal does Miss Mystic, and we'll get out of here with this one, folks. And hello there, Courtney. Good to see you.
Hey, Courtney.
Nice to see you there. And good night, Steve Mitchum. Yeah, there's another Star Trek connection. That's right, Jill. So Miss Mystic comes out from Pacific Comics, and we were, like I said, we were all excited about it. It was a nicely done piece of work. It was one of his. He did the interiors and all that stuff. So you can see some of the stuff from it here. Story though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was an argument I had with the guy that I used to, who's another name I won't say on here, by the way, that I worked for at the time at the comic shop, saying, he really wanted to over order on it because it was Neal Adams, and I was saying, yeah, but it's not. No one knows about this character. Maybe we should be a little bit lighter on the orders. But anyway, we did it. You ordered 200 or something stupid like that, whatever it was. We couldn't sell them. But still, enough of us were reading it. I bought one too.
Was I the only one that bought it? Oh,
no, I bought it. Well,
it's worth $3.50 today.
No, Jesus. Yeah. So,
what was wrong with the story? Was it just lacking, or
it was poorly scripted and thought out, and it was like a precursor. It was a warning about Batman Odyssey.
But see, the thing is, well, no, it wasn't that as bad as that. But it was just sort of another thing. Purple about it was it. You weren't like, by the end of it, you weren't going, I'm never reading this again. You're just like, well, it's good art, it's Adams. We'll see where it goes. Yeah. Problem is, you don't want to die of old age waiting for the second issue of a comic book.
Oh, yeah. The Mystic annual.
People were coming in. That's what I got in trouble with the owner, because after like 5-8 months, people were going, when's that Miss Mystic #2 coming out? And I started calling it Miss Mystic Annual.
Yeah, it was 3 months.
Up.
I'm looking it up. Yeah, it was 3 months later. Oh wow, that one's worth $70. #2 is worth $70.
#2 had some. I forgot what's in there in the back of there. #2 is #2s were not ordered as heavily back then.
Like
and they
a
didn't have a
low print run, maybe.
Yeah, because not enough people bought the damn thing.
But it looks like it's every 4 months. It looks like
it
when
took
you
forever.
look at
Well, it felt like years.
Oh my god!
And it wasn't very good. Yeah, basically, once you read a couple of them, they weren't particularly intriguing. But it was, not his best art either. But
I think you said a while ago he threw a bunch of stuff at the wall, and not a whole lot of it stuck.
Yeah, not a Snail Messiah. What's up, buddy?
Nice now.
So yeah, it was just again, and after this, he went and formed Continuity and Associates, and taught us the word jerkhole.
Yep. We're about to form a union, jerkhole. My foot in your face.
And he did a comic called Skate Man.
Yeah.
Skate Man. I say again, Skate Man. By the way, we love Neal. We're just, well, he probably wouldn't like the joke, but I'm just saying.
He's gonna come beat us up.
He could. I think he could.
There we go.
There's Skate Man.
Get that word
specific. It was specific, but later I think he it went to Continuity.
That was only one issue too, right? So
you gotta do the one with the word balloon.
I got it for the page. It was the front page was with the word balloon, right?
It's all right next to it. It's right next to it.
Right here. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Hands off, jerk hole. The party's over. We're forming a union. My foot, your face. Neal wrote that, folks.
Is that the one where he got a kid to blow himself up with a grenade or something?
Like I read this whole thing after I read the first page.
I read it. I still have it.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Still waiting for. Yeah, I got 4 issues of that. I don't know how many were done. Maybe it was
Crazy Man. There were ads in comic books for Crazy Man for like 7 years before it came out.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Megalith.
Look at that, a bunch of issues of Crazy Man, but still, it was Neal Adams, Crazy Man.
3 issues.
Only 3.
Only 3. Yep.
I thought it was 4. One of them he did was the cover was Tyvek, which is house wrap, which is supposed to stop like hail and even sometimes bullets from going through your house.
Hey, you bought Crazy Man, huh?
1992.
Huh?
Crazy Man.
Okay, Mr. Smarty Pantses. How about Toy Boy?
Yeah.
Not Boy Toy either. Toy Boy? Let's see. There he is, Toy Boy.
Not a whole lot of those either, right?
No, not a whole lot. These comics were horrible about meeting a schedule, and they really. I mean, it had Neal Adams' name on it. I don't know how much of the actual art he did on the inside. Not a lot.
Yeah, God, look at these releases. There's 7 issues of that, and it's 2 months, 3 months, 2 months, 4 months.
It's not going to help you.
5 months, and then 8 months, or no, 7 months.
Is this because he was so overloaded with other work, or
was Bucky O'Hare a continuity book?
I don't know. I don't think it was continuity. But yes, in Purple, it was. I think he just took on too much. He didn't have a lot of other people working with him. I mean, he had some people, but I think I think it was overloaded.
I have a theory. I think it's that he knew he was Neal Adams, and that people saw a book by Neal Adams, they were going to just pick it up just out of habit to say, "Hey, what's Neal doing now?" And they bought all his dreck, and while a lot of it was well drawn, none of it made any sense.
Yeah, they weren't really.
So get them into the shops, sell them, and just count your money later.
Wasn't
Bucky O'Hare Michael Golden?
Michael Golden
did it, yeah, but it was for continuity, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, for continuity. Okay, no.
I think it was continuity printed it. I can't remember. But there's that ad. Look at this. Crazy Man coming soon for continuity. It must have been in back of comic books for 5 years.
Yeah,
and that doesn't.
Like it.
I think it doesn't even make me want to buy that either. Looking at that,
no, me either.
It's like
it was in an early issue of
Would you have bought that one, Purple?
No.
That's a pass.
It was like he was just repurposing the Joker.
Yeah,
he could very easily have recolored that and it'd be the Joker.
Yeah, but hey, God bless him. He did some of the greatest comics ever made. So what the hell, right? I mean,
and some of the worst.
So you're saying just stick to the art and not so much on the storytelling.
Well, look, Batman Odyssey was bad.
Did you read Batman Odyssey? Did you?
Have Clobberin times was yelling at me when I was showing my my comic based software and Batman Odyssey kept coming up. Like, don't show that. Don't show that.
Look at Batman Odyssey #1 and look at Batman Odyssey #2. It says #1 says 1 of 12. #2 says 2 of 13.
We'll put this into perspective for you, Purple. Batman Odyssey. I don't know if you've ever read it. It came out about 2012ish or something. It was Neal's, triumphant return to Batman. The first issue. First of all, his art. You can understand a man's art not being what it used to be. I mean, he's old. It's older, which is fine.
Pretty loose.
It was pretty loose. It was very over inked and it was kind of ugly. But the dialogue was so bad that an amateur acting troupe got together and did a YouTube video of a reading of it, making fun how mind-bogglingly that I'm telling you, read that dialogue, it will make your ears explode. I can't even put it into words.
The guy whose daughter was in a line of fire and she got shot, and the guy inexplicably said, "She's killed." She's killed.
But
is there more to that sentence? She's killed a flagon of ale. Okay, that would be good. But no, she's killed. And guess what? She wasn't killed. And in the first issue, Batman gets shot to hell. He's bloody as hell. He's got blood everywhere. But guess what?
Cover,
I don't think he got hit. It was like it was like that A-Team movie. Where it was like Gerald McCraney had these had these ketchup packets underneath the mask, and he's shooting at him, his blood red squirting everywhere. Oh, it was ketchup. Yeah. So Batman had just gone to Burger King. He was, I don't want to turn all this ketchup back in. I'm just going to put it in my pockets. And blam, 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 blam. Oh, ew, God, ketchup everywhere. Oh, they're going to think I'm bleeding to death.
Well, there's bullets going through Batman on the cover of #1. And they only made it through. Oh, sorry, I was going to say they only made 6 issues of that, unfortunately.
We're going to get out of here now, folks. We're going to each have a few final words about the great Neal Adams while I'm showing the one giving us another look at the art. Purple, and again, anything final you'd like to say about Neal Adams? Anything at all?
I think it's worth reiterating what we said at the beginning. This is an incredibly sad loss for comics, but what an incredible legacy he leaves behind. Just looking at some of the art and things that I didn't even know that he had been involved with, things like the records, the calendars, and it inspired me. I'm going to pick up some Dead Man because that's a character I want to look into now.
Yeah, let me know about that if you ever read any of those, because I think you might enjoy them. So, Claude, any final thing to say about the great Neal?
Yeah, he spawned a lot of look-alike artists. Some of them were really good. Some of them got better. Like Rich Buckler, he always drew like Neal Adams. He never advanced beyond
unless
that.
He was doing Cree, but
yeah. And Mike Grell started out as kind of an Adams impersonator, and he got his own style. Bill Sienkiewicz is the one that stands out to me most because he drew like he thought he was Neal Adams. And then he went on and did other stuff, and he started drawing this weird shit and just went off on a tangent. And last thing I remember him doing was a Moon Knight series. And he had calmed down a little bit because he realized it's a comic book and people want to buy it. But Elektra Assassin by him and Frank Miller was, I don't want to say it was bad. I just want to say it was you got to already know everything about both of those characters to get that story, what there was of it.
Yeah, not one of my favorites, but
no.
Sienkiewicz was better when he was ripping Adams. He was going to rip one of the best ones. And there was a quote recently I just saw
Oh, and Mike Nasser.
Yeah, Mike Nasser. Oh yeah, yeah. Someone asked asked Neal Adams how he feels about all those ripoffs and the people being starting. He said, people have to eat, and if it helps someone's doing their job and it helps them have to, put food on their table, whatever, and then I appreciate it. Then and I'm flattered that he didn't have a problem with it, which was pretty cool of him.
Yeah.
Mark D with AC. Any words about Neal Adams, man?
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. What an amazing guy. Yeah, I learned a lot listening to you guys and Purple and everyone else has been talking about during the week. And, as many comics as I've read, maybe should have paid more attention to, the artists and their techniques and what they're doing. And I guess, too, I'm noticing, how many books and covers, now that you're pointing them out, I'm like, yeah, I've read that one. Or, oh, yeah, that is Adams. And Claude, talking about how many people impersonated him, I guess that's a sign of greatness, too, if you're good and people try to copy your style and it's great to see the people that then eventually develop their own style, but a great artist like that has such an influence. And of course, one of the first comic books, now looking back, a few weeks ago we were talking about our earliest comics, going back to what we had bought, and then that Best of DC Treasury volume #1 with some Adams stories in it. That was one of the first 10 comics I own, because I told my grandfather after I got the Superboy comic, I'm like, Grandpa, bring me back some more Superman and superhero comics. And lo and behold, that Treasury, by looking up that the comic book sales, that was like the month after that Superboy comic was that Treasury edition. And I must have read that thing over 100 times. And as a kid, you don't know that's Neal Adams art, but I mean, the art was just so fantastic to look at. And what a great guy. And I love hearing all those stories about him at the cons. And he seems like he would have been a great, great person to know. And someone who didn't put up with BS either, which I always love to hear. And it's a true loss, but it's great to read all these, read about him and learn about him and share all these stories and all this fantastic artwork. And, now I know, learned a lot more and recognizing all these great covers. And that's why said it a bunch of times, but that's why he wanted to buy these things. That's why he was on Power Records or covers, because that just draws you to the book. And I mean, Superman versus Spider-Man, hey, I'm probably going to buy that book anyway if it's out, but I mean, look at how great that cover is. It makes you, want to buy it even more, or some of the other Treasury or some of his other art. It's just, or the Ali cover versus Superman. I mean, how amazing is that cover? So, it's just fantastic work, and he'll be missed.
He will be. Hey, did Hungry Boy leave?
I haven't seen him post anything in a bit.
Yeah. Neal Adams, folks. Yeah, I think we pretty much. Well, you could never say it all. There's too much for to ever say it all. Like I said, the whole thing about the tapestry at the beginning, all of the comics are one gigantic tapestry, and if you take out all the Adams, you leave a gigantic empty space. He made an extraordinary contribution to the art form. Michael Beacom, thank you so much for that $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Thanks for the tip of the hat to Neal Adams. When I think of Batman, his art is always what I see in my mind's eye. Well, you're not alone there, sir. Absolutely not. Thank you, Michael Beacom, for that. You're very kind. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, he was the last, in my opinion, the last of the ones worthy of being spoken with the names of Kirby and Ditko and Raymond and Gil Kane and, Eisner.
Kirby named his son after Neal Adams.
Oh, yeah? Wow. That's right. Wow. And Ditko, I think you said Ditko. Those the biggest of the big names. He's the last. There's probably two more left that belong that could be anywhere close to that circle. We're just running out of them. They're all just leaving us. And Neal Adams belongs up there at the very top in that pantheon. And so we've lost another one there. The other two, I would argue, would be Romita Sr. and George Perez. They are still with us. They're hanging in there, but we know what's going on with Perez and stuff. So,
yes.
So
And Ramita's in his 90s, right?
Yeah, he is. So it's I'll say Hungry Boy. I will just shout you out there. I haven't seen you in a while. Don't let me if you're busy. But again, this show obviously is dedicated to Neal Adams. It's also dedicated to our good friend Hungry Boy, who probably knew him. We don't know, but he loved his art, and he was he knows a lot about the business and stuff. And so I want to thank you for being here, Hungry Boy, and I thank everyone for being here. But the art speaks for itself, though. But we should speak of it, and we should speak of him a little bit because he will be remembered forever, as long as it is possible for humankind to remember comic book art and fantasy art. James Bama passed last week.
Yeah. You might even say the punch has stopped, but the wind blast has not.
Yes, you might. Well, done.
Well said.
Well done. And it will never. And it never will. It never will. So,
speaking of somebody acquainted with wind blasts.
What? Yada yada. Well done.
Yeah, what an amazing splash page that is, man.
And I'm taking you with me.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
That's what I was thinking about earlier. When stuff that happens in comics that doesn't happen in comics suddenly happens. Quicksilver trying to outrun a Sentinel who was aping his speed, and the Sentinel says, "Fool! If you can stop before you hit that wall, I can too." And Quicksilver, I don't intend to. Bam! So the Sentinel slams into it. And this is Neal Adams' drawing. I think Roy Thomas wrote that, but it's like that Sentinel slams into the wall, breaks it to a million pieces, and of course, Quicksilver breaks his neck or something. But it was powerful because Neal Adams drew it, and I saw it happening. I saw it coming, and I wanted to go, wait a minute!
Yeah. Well, thank you, Neal Adams, for all the great work. Thank you. So, everyone, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. The lovely anti-derivative Jill. Courtney popped in earlier. Kal-El, Hungry Boy Brother, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you, man. Dave, Matthew Pounder, JD Lewis, Michael Beacom, you're all fantastic for being here tonight. Oliver, thank you so much.
Steve Mitchum was here.
Gozatron, Steve Mitchum, yep. Could not be reached for comment or for further comment. Sorry about that. Here, thank you so much. Pop Culture Republic, the Comic Relief Crusader. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So many wonderful people here. Michael Beacom, thank you so much. JD Lewis, Zacharat, the Woke Breaker, Salty Texas was here. Man, I can't. Noel from the TARDIS Zone. Thank you, Noel, for being here, my friend. Appreciate you. I can't. The great Chris Persian was here, of course. Thank you, buddy. J-Man popped in earlier. Apollome's Minion. We love you, Apollo and Pupper. What a great group. What an amazing crowd we had here tonight. Just incredible. Good to see you all here. Pleasant Valley. Good to see you, buddy. Kal-El, thank you so much, my friend. I'm trying to get everyone, stuff to, this thing does go all the way back, but we've had such a big, busy chat tonight. So,
yes, we've had a great chat tonight. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. You all are fantastic. And I want to thank Jamar guy. Don't be a stranger. Thank you for being here as well. Appreciate it.
Too bad Arnold Mutchers didn't show up.
Maybe he will. Captain James C. Skywalker. Thank you, buddy. Good to see you. I'm going to take the chance that I got everyone, but I probably didn't. Jeffrey Wilkerson, thank you. You hate to miss anybody, but Wendy was here, by the way. Wendy of Trauma Warrior. Wendy Webb, Trauma Warrior. And I hope you and your husband are doing well. Pop Culture Curator was here. Pop Culture Republic was here.
Dee Dee Myers.
Wow. That's right. Dee Dee Myers was here. Keely Chow, Roll Tide was here. Now I'll feel bad later because I know I'll probably have forgotten someone, but I got as close as I could to getting to everybody. If I missed anyone, just remember, I'm senile. So big thanks to Well, Minimus, I don't really thank him. We'll just tolerate him.
We just tolerate him.
Of course,
I pulled a thorn out of his paw a few years ago, and he lets me drop in every once in a while without killing me.
It's a backup. And of course, I guess. Oh, Snail Messiah was here. Hey, Snail Messiah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you.
Oliver Villamonte.
Yep. I think I said Oliver. Hey, Oliver. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you. What's going on? I know you don't have a channel, Minimus, but what about you, Chief Engineer? Anything?
Hopefully get a couple videos out this week. Feeling a little bit better now, and my voice is sore throat is going. I don't know. Everyone's getting sick around here, so everyone stay healthy out
through
there.
The internet.
Through the interwebs, and it's going around again. So
I would ask you, did you really get all those models?
Which models?
There was like a. Can I say this? There was a shitload of models.
Zakarot. He did get it all.
I have way too much stuff, but I was loving this. I was enjoying all your Twitter feed too. Yeah. So yeah, my wife calls it the junk, but yes, I love
a good name for it.
Yeah, the junk. So I love showing that stuff. So hopefully this week we'll get a few more videos. And of course, looking forward to Wednesday night, and of course I'm going to see the first showing of Doctor Strange on Thursday at 3. So I'm just waiting for the FF to show up. But it's going to be awesome. So I'm
dude, don't get me started.
Sorry, I won't have a good night. But I'm just when I was at the last movie, I'm like, I think Clobberin Times is throwing shit at the screen right now. If we're both watching at the same time, but
we know there's not going to be an FF film because Clobby doesn't have the rights to it.
That's true. Yeah. It will be a real one. Right. Thank you, Purple.
I think that same guy has the rights to FF that always has.
Me. No. Well, thanks.
So look for that. Here's my thanks everyone who subbed and followed and Discord.
Yes, thank you. I'll put it in the chat. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we got the Discord going with a lot of Clobby gang there too. Yeah, so we've been sharing stuff and lots of limericks and cool things over there. So everyone check out the Discord.
Well, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you being here. Wonderful Purple Valkyrie. I cannot thank you enough. I know it's so ridiculously late over there, but I love having you here again. And I just, it's just always the great, in spite of, me ruining it by having these two here with you. It should, I apologize to you for that, of course. Having to put up with these two.
Not at all. I loved getting to do this. Thank you. And thank you both for joining as well. It's really good to get to talk to you guys again.
It's so great to have you here. Tell everybody what you got going on for this week and what's coming up.
Yeah, I will be back on Wednesday, and I've got Andy Masterson joining, so we're going to be talking sculpting and action figures and probably a few other fun topics like that. Anything to do with toys, I think we're going to cover. And then tomorrow I will be joining Salty Texas on his channel for the big show that we do Tuesdays, and then I'll be back on Friday as well on my channel.
Fantastic. And everyone subscribe to Salty Texas, and Purple's over there a lot as well, and all over there. And please, if you have, obviously goes without saying, if you haven't, you probably already have, but if you haven't, please subscribe to Purple's channel. Link right there below, right there, and many other wonderful links as well. So thank you all so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much, Purple. Thank you, sort of thank you, Minimus, and thank you. I forgot. Wednesday night, Clobby's Clubhouse is Wednesday instead of Thursday night this week. I'll be on with the Great Comics Division channel with Nick Weiser and Toxic Manflu and many others there. Thursday night, reviewing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and then Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I think. I'm forgetting what time I've made it.
Just watch us all night on YouTube. Yep.
Yeah, J-Man and Mark D and I, and maybe hopefully Sean will review Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of
Multiverse of Molasses? What? No.
Of Molasses, yeah. That's
and Tuesday night, Toxic Tuesday, I'll be on 10 p.m. Eastern. Rocky. So if you like Rocky.
I'm jealous. Doing Rocky.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So cool. For Toxic Tuesday. Yes, everyone. Nicholas, our great buddy Nick Weiser, go to his channel too. Toxic Tuesday tomorrow night. Rocky. So thank you again so much, everyone, for being with us tonight. Dad Man popped in at the last minute. Mighty Zarquan.
Hi, Dad Man.
Yeah, she's like Mighty Zarquan showing up at the restaurant. So
he's eating unicorn ice cream right now. So
I saw that at the store and did not be proud of me. Be proud of me.
You didn't buy it?
And didn't buy it. I saw it the other day.
But you bought some action
Walmart,
figures, I hope. No action figures, impressive.
Oh, I bought some candy that's just as bad for me. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I didn't buy the ice cream, so I've taken my first step into a larger world. Good night, everybody. Have a great night, and of course, shout out as always to our wonderful First Officer RM Briggs. Good night, everybody.
Good night.